hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Somewhere around 400 feet off the ground, RPG came through the belly of the aircraft. When I first got out, I felt like my whole life had been smushed down to just medical appointments. I was going to occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy. We don't talk about the female combat wounded. These are our daughters and our sisters and our mothers. I'm not sure I would still be here if I didn't find the Friends and Wounded Warrior Project that I did. Because there was a long period after the injury where I really didn't understand why I was still here. It felt like I had lost everything. Wounded Warrior Project came into my life and taught me how to stand back up and get back in the fight. The truth is, I think we all have this strength inside of us, but until you're tested, you just don't know what's there.
See how Wounded Warrior Project empowers women veterans like Beth by visiting woundedwarriorproject.org/empowerwomenvets.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. We are Sports 56 WHBQ. It's time to get up and get your day started. Morant. A jawbreaker! It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Welcome in. Good morning to you. Hope your weekend was a good one. I'm sure for many of you it was a very long weekend, a 4-day weekend with the 4th of July holiday. But whether it was a 4-day weekend, a regular weekend, whatever it was, I hope it was a great weekend for you. As we kick off a new work week here from the Family Leisure Studios on Sports 56 Mornings. I am Eli Savoy. No Greg Gaston today. Greg will be back on Wednesday. Zach Boyd is here. It is the Monday, July 8th, 2024 edition of Sports 56 Mornings. And as always on a Monday, we will be recapping the sports weekend. A lot of stuff to get into. Lots of Grizzlies news from over the weekend. And, of course, Summer League getting underway tonight for the Grizzlies. The California Summer League opened up play over the weekend. Bronny James making his Summer League debut. So we got news from that. We got U.S., or not just U.S., but Olympic basketball news as the final spots in the field in Paris have now all been punched. And we know who is in the group with the Team USA. Team USA now in Vegas, working out, getting ready for the Olympics. There was another big name free agent signing, and it was a sign and trade as another big name comes to the Western Conference once again, which is not great news for the Grizzlies, but nonetheless, that is the way things happen in the NBA. I guess you could say it was a well-kept secret, although we had talked about it before. We knew what was happening, but there just was not any announcement of it. It had kind of gotten forgotten. But the Grizzlies finally made it official. They announced the assistant coaching staff for this season, and it is a lot of new names. Only 2 holdovers from last season among Taylor Jenkins' assistants, and some interesting names that are a part of the new group of assistant coaches. So we will get into that as well. Of course, with the Summer League getting underway tonight, we also have the Summer League roster for the Grizzlies as they'll play 3 games in Utah before heading on to Vegas. Memphis football got another big commitment over the weekend. We got news from Major League Baseball. What a weird night Friday night was in Major League Baseball. There was a lot of stuff happening on Friday night. All-star reserves were announced in Major League Baseball as well. The Copa America continues. We got some soccer news to get into. We got golf. We got some tragedy as well from the world of football. Very sad situation that happened over the weekend as far as that is concerned. Coming up in our final hour today, we will be joined by a couple of guests. Brad Logan, our buddy from down in Oxford, who does a lot of things, a lot of podcasts, a lot of coverage of Ole Miss. He'll join us at 9:05 today. We'll talk Ole Miss. Looking through the Phil Steele magazine and some interesting things as it applies to Ole Miss from Phil Steele in his magazine. But obviously a lot of excitement around the Ole Miss football program as they figure to be a top 10 team in the preseason. And many people believe they will be in the college football playoff. So one of the most anticipated seasons probably ever in Ole Miss football history. We'll talk with Brad Logan about that. All things Rebels coming up at 9:05. And then at 9:30, our buddy Mike Claiborne will join us from the Cardinals Radio Network and Claves Online. Cardinals are red hot. They have the best record in the National League since May 12th. They're 32-18. They have moved into second place in the NL Central. And we'll be talking Cardinals with Mike Claiborne coming up at 9:30 today. In the meantime, if you want to chime in, you can always do so on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 901-360-8255. That's 360-8255. The Sissy's Log Cabin listener line is open and available to you to either call or text in. You can call or text at 360-8255. The first hour of the program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. And again, we are live in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. That is Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. Zach Boyd, how was the weekend?
It was just a normal weekend. Nothing crazy. Still popping fireworks, by the way.
Oh yeah. Fireworks. I think maybe now they're done. I don't know. I don't know if like Sunday was the deadline for people to finally use up all their fireworks. I'm guessing probably still going to hear some more over the next week or so. It usually happens that way. But yeah, the fireworks, the people out there firing off the fireworks, they certainly took advantage of they made it a 4-day weekend. It was a 4-day fireworks weekend.
Trying to see what's the next holiday coming up. I can't remember what it was. Next
holiday wouldn't be till, what, Labor Day?
Yeah, that's in September.
Yeah.
I doubt people have, well, I don't know. People might still have fireworks all the way up until then. I highly doubt you're going to have fireworks, waiting in the wings all the way up until Labor Day. Yeah,
I don't. They'll get rid of them. If they haven't got rid of them yet, they'll be doing it over the next week or so, probably, to get rid of those things. But yeah, it's they don't mess around with those fireworks. That is for sure. I had an interesting little situation this week. So last Sunday, not yesterday, but a week ago Sunday, I got to get my car and it's completely dead. Like, to the point where, like, I literally can't even unlock the doors. Like, nothing works on the car. So the battery's dead. And I don't know, like, okay, whatever. I'm not sure what the heck happened, but the battery's dead. So I am able to get it jump-started. And then it ran fine all week. No issues whatsoever. Like, okay, something drained the battery. I think my stepson may have left a light on in the car, a little dome light in the car, whatever. So I was like, that's fine, whatever. So it drained the battery, but jump-started, all things fine. Never had an issue. Then suddenly yesterday, Sunday again, I go to get my car and leave, and it won't start. So apparently my car, very big into the Sunday is for rest. Like, it just doesn't like to be used on Sundays. So then I could not get it to start. It wasn't completely dead, but the battery dead, too dead to start it again. So I had to finally just break down, found out that the battery is bad, and I had to buy a whole new battery and put the new battery in the car and everything else. So hopefully this coming Sunday, my car will actually work. I don't know. It may just be it takes Sundays off. I have no idea. But nonetheless, I think I'm all good now and everything should be working. This week kicks off the Media Days onslaught. Big 12 Media Days get underway tomorrow. They're out in Las Vegas this year. They're going with their expansion to the West. The Big 12 is doing their Media Days Tuesday and Wednesday of this week in Las Vegas. Next week, SEC Media Days. Brett Norsworthy will be down there. We'll be hearing from him all week next week from Dallas, where the SEC is going with their Media Days. Then following that, you've got all kinds of, all these different leagues with all their Media Days. The AAC Media Days, I believe, is July 25th and 26th, if I got those dates correct, somewhere in that range, for their Media Days. So we have officially entered talking season as the Media Days are getting underway. And of course, this year a little different because you got all of these different teams in different leagues. For the SEC, it'll be the first time for Texas and Oklahoma to be a part of their Media Days. Of course, as I mentioned, Big 12 with all kinds of new teams, Big 10, ACC, all these new teams for the first time taking part in Media Days in their respective new leagues. And the Big 12, again, will kick it off tomorrow out in Las Vegas. Well, as I mentioned, we had a lot of Grizzlies news over the weekend. And, of course, tonight, Grizzlies Summer League play begins. They are out in Utah, and tonight they will play the Jazz in the first of 3 games in Utah. Tonight's game will be televised on ESPN. It's at 8 o'clock Central Time, so you can watch the Grizzlies in action. The games in Utah tonight will be on ESPN. Tomorrow will be on ESPN, and not only tomorrow do you get to see the Grizzlies, but they're playing the 76ers, which means David Jones will be part of that game for the 76ers. That's a 6 o'clock game tomorrow night on ESPN. And then on Wednesday, the Grizzlies taking on Oklahoma City, again a 6 o'clock game. That one will be on NBA TV. So all of these games from the Summer League you can see because the Vegas games will be on ESPN networks. They'll be on NBA TV, so you can watch all of this action. And the Grizzlies announced their Summer League roster over the weekend, and no surprises. What we kind of expected. You've got the rookies. We knew that, of course. We knew DJ Jeffries, the former Memphis Tiger and Mississippi State Bulldog. He had already announced that he was going to be playing in the Summer League for the Grizzlies. You obviously have the two-way guys, Scottie Pippen Jr. and Trey Jemison. G.G. Jackson, part of the team. Again, we'll see how much he plays. Jake LaRavia, I guess that didn't know for sure whether Jake LaRavia would play again in Summer League this year, but he is on the Summer League roster. Again, we'll see how much he plays out of all these games. And then you've got some other guys to basically fill in the rest of the roles. Because, again, when you're talking this week, starting tonight through Friday, they play 4 games in 5 days. So some of these guys are certainly, some of the G.G. Jacksons, Jake LaRavias, even probably Zach Edey and company, like they're not playing 4 games in 5 nights. They're probably going to get some days off here. And so you have to have these other guys. Timmy Allen, who last year played with the Hustle and got the call-up with the Grizzlies. Last year, he's on the team. Freddie Gillespie, who has spent some time with the Hustle over a couple of different seasons in the past, he is a part of it. Kevon Harris is one of the other names. Deke Giroux, who, of course, played for the Hustle and the Grizzlies last year as well. Isaiah Miller is another one of the names that's on there. Kyle Caslin is on there as well. Here's what's interesting to me, Zach, and this was the first thing that popped out to me when I looked at the roster, because they've got the birthdays on there. Cam Spencer is 4.5 years older than G.G. Jackson. You forget how young G.G. Jackson is. G.G. Jackson is the youngest guy on the Summer League team still, after having played a year in the NBA. He was born in 2004. 2004. Cam Spencer, who's about to begin his rookie season, was born in 2000. April of 2000. Gigi, December of 2004. So 4.5 years difference between the rookie and the guy going into his second year. I mean, Zach Edey is 2.5 years older than Gigi Jackson. It's just amazing to remember just how young Gigi Jackson still is. Dude's out in Las Vegas. We'll be out in Las Vegas Summer League. He's not even 21 yet.
Can't do anything.
he's not supposed to be doing any of this stuff. Like, he's not even 21 years old yet. What's the thing you're looking for the most out of Summer League? Again, you could take a lot of Summer League with a grain of salt, but is there something you're really interested in seeing?
I want to see Scotty, Gigi dominate for sure. I mean, obviously, like the rookies, I need you to just come in and like display the skill that got you drafted. I don't need you to do a whole lot unless you just decide you want to go off and be a Summer League legend. And by all means, go in.
Which again, I mean, there's probably a pretty good chance that Zach Edey. I mean, again, we'll see how many minutes he plays, all this stuff. But like, Zach Edey should dominate this. Like,
yes.
It's guys he's already dominated. He dominated college. Most of these guys are guys he's already dominated. So you would think Zach Edey should look pretty darn good at this.
If LaRavia doesn't show in this Summer League setting, I could see them trading him. He needs to dominate the G Leaguers here.
No doubt. Like, he should. Like, he's a third-year guy. And when he's been with they send him down to the hustle and he plays in the G League, he looks really good. Here's the thing, though. If you're going to trade him, you said if he doesn't play well, they trade him. Well, don't you need him to play well to trade him? Because if he doesn't, what's the trade market for Jake LaRavia? Who wants Jake LaRavia if he can't play well in the Summer League?
Well, that's a fair point. I think that, and I'm basing this off of reports from like a couple of NBA insiders. I can't remember where the one that I've read, but they said that teams were valuing Jake LaRavia over Zaire, and I'm like, I wonder why. But then the Grizzlies themselves, I think the reason why they haven't made that move because I feel like they still believe in Jake, that he can be that spot up shooter and the scorer, I guess that they envisioned him to be.
Yeah, I mean he showed some things at the end of last year, but again, it's all like what can you take out of that? It was in games that meant nothing. So I don't know. Again, I mean that to me, what is like. He's got to make threes. Like, that's what he's got to be. I could see teams, like, I think he showed last year a little bit of ability to put the ball in the, like, be a playmaker more than just a shooter. But I still like, to me, his role in the NBA is you got to be a knockdown shooter. And at his size, if he can be that, like, I think certainly Jacob LaRavia has a spot in the NBA. And I'm a little surprised. To me, I would think teams would value Zaire more just because he is still so young also. And again, he was such a highly ranked high school kid, and you would think maybe, just maybe. And again, I mean, his rookie year, he played pretty well. Like he had moments in his rookie year. So I would think teams are there. But yeah, I don't know where the Grizzlies stand on those two guys. But it is interesting that LaRavia is playing here. Like, certainly they want to see something from him, and he's willing to go out there and do it. We'll see how much he plays. But, yeah, you would love to just see him look like a third-year guy who was a former first-round. You should stand out. In a summer league, if you're that guy, you should stand out. And we'll see if he's able to do that. But yeah, I mean, between Gigi and Laravia, like, you would think those guys would stand out. Edey, again.
Yeah.
He should stand out, guys. He's dominated before. And then a guy like Scottie Pippen Jr., who, again, was a great college player, who's got NBA experience. You would think that he would stand out. And we'll see what Spencer and Wells do. Again, their calling card is knocking down shots. Do that. That's what you're going to be asked to do. Again, and Spencer is in all likelihood going to be a two-way guy. I mean, he's not going to be a regular NBA contract anyway. But yeah, go out there, knock down shots, do your thing. Zach Edey, by the way, is now second as far as odds go for Rookie of the Year. Sarr is the favorite. I checked this yesterday. Sarr was plus 600. Edey is plus 650. Edey opened, I believe, at like plus 2,000 or something like that. I saw something online that said, like, from one of the sites, like 70% of the money is on Zach Edey to be Rookie of the Year. Which is interesting because while, yes, he should get minutes, obviously, right away. Like, heck, very well could be the Grizzlies' starting center. But to win Rookie of the Year, you think you got to put up some pretty big numbers. How many opportunity is he going to get offensively when you consider everybody else that he's going to be playing with? So that's the question I would have about it. Like Sarr is going to be able to shoot and do whatever he wants. Like, he's going to get every opportunity. Hell, they've got nobody else. So Sarr could play 35 minutes a night and take 20 shots a night. How many shots is Zach Edey going to get for the Grizzlies? So I was a little surprised how much money is on him. I would have looked at just pure opportunity. I think Castle has a great chance because, again, I mean, with the Spurs, I think he's going to get every opportunity to be in there playing a lot, combining with Wembanyama.
By the way, on Castle, like, Buddy couldn't hit a three in college to save his life, and all of a sudden he's shooting from the logo in summer league. Like, what? Okay,
secret skill. You unlocked it.
Hey, man, pop out.
Meanwhile, Dalton Connect, who was unbelievable in college, can't make a three hardly in the summer league. So figure all that out. But yeah, it's interesting to see Zach Edey. All the public is all over Zach Edey as Rookie of the Year this season in the NBA. When we come back, we'll go through the Grizzlies' assistant coaching moves. Again, we knew or had heard that a bunch of people were out. That is true. That's exactly what we expected. They announced all the new incomers, including a very interesting name who's got a pretty incredible recent past as far as coaching is concerned. And what kind of impact could he possibly have on the Grizzlies? We'll talk about that when we come back. This hour of our program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. BigGreenEgg.com is the website. Go to BigGreenEgg.com. Get all those details about everything you need to know. The different sizes of the egg, all the egg accessories, and just the versatility and unbelievable what it allows you to do. From low and slow for hours upon hours to 700 degrees to sear a steak, whatever it is or whatever in between you need to do. The Big Green Egg allows you to do that very, very easily. You can go to the website, or you can go to Ace Hardware stores here around town or Hamilton Fireplace. They've got the Big Green Egg. They're distributors of the Big Green Egg, and that's where you can find the best grill there is, the Big Green Egg. We are just getting started on a Monday morning here on Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Smoke is our sauce.
What is the Central Barbecue slogan? What are we playing?
Well, I just think that we don't emphasize often enough that even though Central Barbecue offers a variety of sauces at all of their many locations, Central Barbecue's barbecue doesn't even really need the sauce.
We should mention that more often. Central Barbecue doesn't take any shortcuts. The barbecue at Central Barbecue is slow-smoked Memphis style for 24 hours to make it so flavorful you really don't need sauce.
That was my point. Well, boy, do they have great sauces.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to go sauce-free at Central Barbecue. I'm just saying I could.
Again, exactly my point. Look at my copy. It's the first thing I said. You just hijacked the commercial.
See how it feels?
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and clean quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking the bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Parkway Center, Popper and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elmer Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0600. Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's got a little bit busier in the last few minutes on 385 Billmorris Parkway as you work your way inbound there towards 240. Still not bad right now. 40 east across the Hernando de Soto Bridge as that traffic volume picks up coming in from West Memphis. Still looking good right now down 51 out of Millington. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The humidity will slap you in the face today when you walk outside. Just be prepared for it. It'll get you. It was a full-on fogged up glasses type of morning when I walked out this morning. Not going to be super hot today. High up in the upper 80s. May get to 90. But we will have heat indexes probably hitting the triple digits. Currently 78 degrees as you get your morning started. Some sun, some clouds today. There is a about a 25% chance of some rain today. But you will see some sun. You'll see some clouds. Again, the humidity, though, man, when you walk out this morning, it's a sauna out there with that humidity, so be ready for that. Well, over the weekend, the Grizzlies announced their assistant coaches for the 2024-25 season. And as expected, there is massive changeover. Only 2 coaches are back from last season. As Patrick St. Andrews and Anthony Carter are the 2 holdovers. And St. Andrews was brought in last year to be the, I guess, architect of the offense. And now, granted, hard to judge because of all the injuries, but the offense was not good. Well, one of the new names they brought in, as you look at the new names, there's clearly a focus, one, on player development. Like, that is a major focus of this assistant coaching staff. But, and I don't know for sure how to pronounce this name because I watched various videos and I think they pronounced it differently. And some of it, I guess, depends how much French accent you want to use. But Thomas Isolo, he is coming in as the lead assistant coach. According to the reports, he's listed as one of the assistants. They don't define anybody as the lead assistant, but the reports are that he will be the lead assistant coach. He has been coaching Paris basketball. He coached them in the French LNB League and the Euro Cup League. And he was the coach of the year in both leagues. In the Euro Cup, they won the championship and only lost 1 game all season long. Their offensive numbers are ridiculous. Like, they broke just offensive record after offensive record, from offensive rating to field goal percentage stuff to it just like people call him an offensive genius. So certainly he is being brought in to try and fix the offense. The things that they do, they play really fast. They shoot a lot of threes. Interestingly enough, his team with Paris basketball, their best player was a 5'9" point guard. So his offense built for having a best player, being a small point guard. They had a 126.8 offensive rating, which is, that's crazy good. Again, I think they had the highest 2-point field goal percentage in the history of their league. Highest offensive rating in the history of their league. Like, it's just, again, offensively crazy good. And so we'll see how that can translate to the Grizzlies. The one interesting thing about it, though, Zach, his teams, they play extremely fast. And I talked about the point guard, but he doesn't have like they use kind of smaller bigs because they want to get up and down the court. That doesn't seem like a great fit for Zach Edey if you're trying to run extremely fast.
Yeah, but then at the same time, Zach, all it takes like 6 steps for Zach Edey to get down the court.
It does would fit well with Brandon Clark when he's in the game, or if you've got Jaren and you're going a little bit smaller. It'll be interesting to see how this works. They already shot a lot of threes. We know they shoot a lot of threes. They already did that last year. Now, they didn't make a lot of threes. That's the problem. They shot a lot of threes. They didn't make enough of those threes. But he wants to run. I mean, there was one dude who broke down all of this stuff. And like how fast they're, even off made baskets, how quickly they would get down the court. Again, does all of this come to the Grizzlies? Does he? We'll see. But again, I mean, they call him an offensive genius. I will also say this, with him coming over, and I assume these moves came from the front office, because Taylor Jenkins, like, for Brad Jones to be out, like, that was Taylor Jenkins, that's Taylor Jenkins' guy. Like, they are tight. So I don't think Taylor Jenkins suddenly decided he didn't want Brad Jones as an assistant coach anymore. So I think these moves had to come from the front office. So if I was Taylor Jenkins, I would want to get off to a good start this season, because something tells me that old Thomas Isolo, that they might have some visions of him possibly becoming the head coach of this team.
I mean, you put some truth serum in the front office. I think so too. Because like a lot of people that were on Twitter when that news dropped, I was like, this hire is too good.
Yeah, I mean,
he's too good to be what the first assistant off the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, like, the dude was the coach. He coached in 2 leagues last year. He was the coach of the year in both leagues. They lost 1 game. They were like 22-1 or something in the Euro Cup in winning the championship. Like, it's, and they're just setting offensive record after offensive record. So if I'm Taylor, I want to get off to a good start, really good start this season, and don't give anybody any ideas. The other coaches, and again, there's a very obvious focus on player development. Noah LaRoche comes in. He is going to be the head of player development. He basically, that's what he does. Like, he had his own camp, whatever, like, that, for player development, skill development. He is a teacher of that. He comes in as an assistant coach. Joe Boylan, who had been previously with the Grizzlies from 2015 to 2018, but had been in Minnesota since 2021, his specialty is player development. Chris Finch gave him a lot of credit for the development of Naz Reid and others. Obviously, we've seen what's happened with Minnesota. So you got LaRoche and Boylan, who are both like player development specialists. Jason March, who was the head coach of the Hustle, now gets promoted. He becomes an assistant coach with the Grizzlies. He obviously, being a G League coach, certainly, and he's got the past in the NBA as well, but he's credited with the development of these guys, his past year with Gigi and some of these guys that got their opportunity, Vince Williams, others. So he certainly is no slouch in the player development world. He's now, and he will be coaching the Summer League team. There were some reports early that Isolo was going to coach the Summer League team. Jason March was going to be the Summer League coach all along. There was never any doubt about that. Then you got Patrick Mutombo, who comes from the Bucks. He's a former G League head coach himself with the Raptors. And by the way, no relation to Dikembe. I know everybody's going to have that. No, he is not related to Dikembe. And then Eric Schmidt, who was the Grizzlies video coordinator last year, now becomes an assistant coach. So out are Brad Jones, again, like Taylor's guy, Blake Ahern, Sonia Rahman, Vitaly Potapenko. They're all out. And then Michael Noyes, I think he left on his own. I think he went to San Antonio to take a job. So only 2 holdovers from the staff. But, I mean, again, they're obviously putting a huge emphasis on player development, and you would assume with Isolo, offensive basketball.
Yeah, he and St. Andrews?
Patrick St. Andrews, the most Irish name there is in the history of mankind. Patrick St. Andrews. I mean, just needs to add like an O something on the end of that. Maybe they just call him O Patrick. I don't know. But again, and I feel bad for him because, again, he's brought in as kind of the architect of the offense last year. Well, I'm not sure anybody can design an offense for the players that were playing last year that's going to work.
That's kind of hard.
But his offense was more of the 5-out deal.
Yeah.
Well, with Zach Edey, you don't want 5 out.
not too long.
Yeah, he's not going to be shooting threes in the corner, I don't think.
You're going to put Zach Edey in the deep corner and then have him sprint all the way down to the other side of the court.
So, but, yeah, again, I'll be interested to see what the offense looks like this year. How much this Isolo or whatever you pronounce his name, what kind of an effect he has on it. But obviously, the Grizzlies already wanted to play fast, and the Grizzlies already shot a lot of threes, so wouldn't be a big drastic change anyway to be playing fast and shoot a bunch of threes. That's what they want to do, and that's what they do. So those are the changes for the Grizzlies. Again, it had been reported a long time ago that they were getting rid of a bunch of guys. Now we just found out who the replacements are for those guys. Also, from the world of the NBA, the California Summer League got underway on Saturday. Bronny James' first game, and a whole 4 points. Right on his college average. He nailed his college average, got 4 points. 2 of 9 shooting. Dalton Connect ended up with like 12 points, but he couldn't shoot. He was, I think, 3 for 12 from the field. On the other side of that game, though, my guy Adonis Arms. Last year I kept saying I wanted to die. I always told the Grizzlies, I was like, how could all these guys the Grizzlies brought up last year on 10-day deals, I never understood why Adonis Arms didn't get one of them. Like, he was really, really good for the hustle. And he just went for 32 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists against the Lakers in that game. Showed up Bronny James and company. My boy Adonis Arms. And then last night, Bronny did not play because he's got knee soreness. He is expected to play tonight in their third game there in the California League. But Bronny struggling. But LeBron says he doesn't care about the critics. LeBron says he don't give a blank, as a matter of fact. Well, that's good, because I'm sure because there's going to be a lot of critics.
There's a handful of them.
ESPN is doing, like, breakdowns of every single game he plays. Like, extensive breakdown of every game he plays. So he's going to have plenty of critics. There's plenty of attention on him. Game 1 did not go well. We'll see how he does in his second game. DeMar DeRozan was really the last big name free agent out there. And it is a sign and trade deal that sends him to Sacramento. Gets a 3-year, $74 million deal. He goes to Sacramento. Sacramento unloads Harrison Barnes, who goes to San Antonio, along with a pick swap. And then Chicago gets Chris Duarte and 2 second-round picks. Sacramento with DeMar DeRozan in place of Harrison Barnes. What's that do for you?
They improved the half-court offense. Defense is still the same.
I tell you what, DeMar DeRozan, when you just look at his numbers, though, you talk about consistency.
Yes.
I mean, it is. First of all, he plays all the time. Like, he plays over 70 games basically every year. And you can just pencil him in for about 20 to 24 points per game every season. It's just crazy good. Yeah, I think they got better. I still don't necessarily put them up into that group of like 4 or 5 that I think are at the top of the West. But I think it puts them right behind. I think they're better than the Lakers. They're certainly better than Golden State. Sacramento or New Orleans?
I lean towards Sacramento.
I think so too. I love De'Aaron Fox, and Sabonis obviously is great. And I think bringing a guy like DeRozan in, again, he could just kind of be that steady influence. So I think they might be 6th now in the West for me.
New Orleans still got to figure out who's going to be their starting center in October.
Yeah, that's they do not have a center.
I mean, they drafted Eves.
Yeah.
Messi.
Yeah.
Messi.
And then we still have to find, are they going to trade Brandon Ingram or not? That talk has kind of died down, so maybe there's no thought that they're going to trade Brandon Ingram. But we'll see as far as that is going to be. Yeah, they do not have a center. Really. I mean, again, and again, we're talking about the Grizzlies going with a rookie center. They could go with a rookie center. When you've got DeJounte Murray, C.J. McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and Zion, you don't need your center to do much. You just need him to rebound, block some shots, defend. You don't need much else out of the center. You're certainly not looking at it for offense if you've got those other 4 guys on the court with him. I mean, that's 4 pretty good offensive weapons that you've got out there already. There ain't going to be many shots for a center with New Orleans. Probably why Jonas realized he needed to get out. Jonas wants shots. Jonas wants the ball. Ain't getting that with that New Orleans team. Although he went to a terrible team, so good luck with him.
No, he's going to get plenty of shots.
He'll get plenty of shots. Greece, Brazil, Spain, and Puerto Rico all qualify for the Olympics. Those are your 4 winners of the qualifying tournaments. Giannis Antetokounmpo goes to the Olympics for the first time. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic and company, Slovenia, they miss out on the Olympics. They will not be there. But Giannis, who got emotional at the end of that game yesterday, gets to go to the Olympics for the first time. And how about former Grizzly great Nick Kalathis?
Oh, yeah.
14 points for Greece in the win in the championship game.
Yeah, he's a legend out there, man.
Nick Kalathis going to the Olympics for Greece. And how about Santi Aldama? MVP of the tournament that Spain won to qualify. Had 12 points in the final, but was named MVP of the tournament. He's a guy that when you talk about the Grizzlies, like you do, like he kind of gets pushed aside and you forget, like.
Yeah.
Because they're so, Gigi and Vince and all like that. But like Santi's got to get minutes. Doesn't he? I mean, if he's not getting minutes, shouldn't you trade him? I would think he would have value. Like if he's not going to be playing for you at all, you should trade him.
I agree. And knowing Taylor Jenkins, he would play like a 12-man rotation to start the year.
And I'll say this: if in this offense that we're talking about, Santi would fit that offense. Just getting up and down the court, running.
5 out.
And he could shoot it. But yeah, he was the MVP of that tournament. With that win, by the way, and Spain getting in, Rudy Fernandez becomes the first player ever to go to 6 Olympics. He'll be playing in his 6th Olympics.
For Spain or?
Yeah, for Spain. That's crazy. No, I mean, he's the first to do it overall. Nobody for any country has ever played in 6 Olympics.
6 straight.
I mean, you're talking 24 years. It's hard to do as a player.
Yeah.
To be around for 24 years of Olympics. So, yeah, it's not easy. But he will be playing in his 6th Olympics and becomes the first ever to do that. The U.S., the group that they are in group play, it's them, Puerto Rico, South Sudan, and Team Nikola, Serbia. Only 3 Nikolas on the team. I thought we'd get 5 or 6 at least, but there's only 3 Nikolas on the team.
Fortunate.
And that will be the U.S.'s first game. Will be against Nikola Jokic and Serbia. Sunday, July 28th will be their first game at the Olympics, and they will take on Serbia. Team USA out in Vegas, getting together, starting their practices, all of that good stuff. There's a lot of attention to Cooper Flagg, who, of course, will be at Duke next year, who's on the select team that's playing against the actual Olympic team out there. Guy who's probably going to be the first pick next year.
Yeah, maybe.
I would assume. Next year's class is really good, though.
Yeah,
he may not be the number one pick. Like, next year's class, draft class, is supposed to be really, really good. But Cooper Flagg is a stud.
For me, if VJ Edgecombe is playing like he is now at Baylor, like he is with the Bahamas, he might go one.
Yeah, they're probably should not assume anything, but yeah, Cooper Flagg, the next year's class is going to be really, really good. We need to take a break. We come back. We got some WNBA history that was made by the two rookies. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, they still continue to dominate the headlines when it comes to the WNBA, and both made history over the weekend. We'll tell you what that was, and we'll get to some text messages. 360-8255, 360-8255. You can text in, you can call in. It's the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on the shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding and a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Granger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call CraigGranger.com or just stop by. Granger, you get it done.
Getting engaged is one of life's most spectacular occasions. And when you find your ring at Sissy's Log Cabin, the promise of a lifetime begins with our promise to always provide unmatched quality, superior service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Find your dream engagement ring, wedding bands, and more when you shop Sissy'sLogCabin.com or stop by one of our 6 locations. Begin the rest of your life right, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
One of our longtime sponsors on Sports 56 Mornings, the great folks at Town Village Audubon Park, 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue in the heart of East Memphis. Senior living in today's world, offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before. They are dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for their residents. You can give them a call at 901-537-0002. Set up a tour or go online to townvillageaudubonpark.com to find out more information. Independent living, short-term respite stay, monthly options available, great events scheduled with activities galore, amazing food, indoor and outdoor maintenance, 24-hour mobile emergency call system, scheduled local transportation. The amenities go on and on and on. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or over. Everything you need to continue to enjoy life to its fullest. It's Town Village Audubon Park, 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue in East Memphis.
7:51 here in the Family Leisure Studios. A very humid morning. Temperatures today to get up near 90, heat index near 100. A 25% chance of some rain today. There was a little few sprinkles overnight and this morning. But they're expecting to see some sun along with some clouds today. And again, there is a chance for some rain. But it is super humid when you walk out there for the first time today. Over the weekend, Angel Reese gets her 13th straight double-double, which breaks Candace Parker's WNBA record. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark records a triple-double, the first rookie to ever record a triple-double in the WNBA. So both the rookies making history over the weekend and setting records, things that had not been done before in the WNBA. That Rookie of the Year race is going to be very interesting to how that ends up going. The odds have gotten, what Clark was a massive favorite. Now it is, those odds have come down some. She is still the favorite, but man, it's like, again, the league has to just be like thanking them. Like, it's just like, the WNBA was gifted this. Like they couldn't have asked for anything better than this. You get these two players who have this rivalry, who come in and both are doing historic things in the league in the first, 20 games of their career. I mean, what more could you ask for from the WNBA?
Somebody said that they compared Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark to Magic and Bird.
Yeah, I mean, there's something.
As the kickstart, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but then they said Jordan's on the way.
Wait, who's that?
Juju Watkins.
Juju, okay, yeah, that's. It still amazes me that people act like. I mean, I guess because of the standards, but like people that keep talking like Caitlin Clark has like struggled in the WNBA. Well, I mean, like her numbers are. I mean, she's not scoring 30 points a game, but I mean, she wasn't going to come in and do that right away. But she's like, her numbers are really, really good. Just like Reese's numbers are really, really good. Like they're both outstanding players, and now they'll be teammates in the All-Star game too. We'll see how that goes.
So the thing is that you can get like one, either Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark is going to win Rookie of the Year.
No,
The question is whether are you picking Angel Reese because her team, she's putting up good numbers and her team is winning, or do you take Caitlin Clark for taking a bad Fever team and actually winning more games than they did last year?
Well, where do they end up in the standings? Obviously, because that's the thing for Clark is this triple-double came against the New York Liberty, a really good team, and they got the win. They haven't beat good teams. Most of their wins have come against the bottom part of the league, rather than when they've played the good teams, they've lost for the most part. But nonetheless, a little history over the weekend. A couple of text messages here on the Sissy Log Cabin listener line. David texted, says, Santi was disappointing last year. I think you could say it was a little disappointing, but again, his role last year was so much different than what it would actually be if people were healthy. Like last year, you needed him to really be one of your better players, because he was. But he's out there playing with a bunch of G League guys for a lot of the season. So I don't know that you can judge anybody based off last year.
And then he started his year hurt, so
yeah,
very slow start.
Yeah, I just don't know that it's so hard to judge anybody from what happened last year. I still think Santi can play in the NBA. I think Santi is a rotation player, can be a rotation player on a good team in the NBA. He needs to become more consistent with his shot, but he can shoot it. He just needs to be a little bit more consistent with it and get a little stronger, be able to take a little more physicality. But I think he can be a rotation player. Another texter says, of the Grizzlies' summer league roster, who will be two-way players or Memphis hustle players? Well, the two-way players we know right now, Scottie Pippen Jr. and Trey Jemison, are on two-way contracts. So we'd expect that both of those will be on two-way contracts.
Right.
It seems to be the popular belief, and this is what I believe, Cam Spencer will be a two-way player. The last of the draft picks. He will get the third two-way contract. So that's your 3 two-way guys taken right there. As far as hustle guys go, well, Timmy Allen's on this roster. I'm assuming he'll be back with the hustle. Deke Giroux on this, unless they get it. Again, now they might, unless they earn a two-way deal somewhere, something like that. I would expect they're back. Freddie Gillespie has been with the Hustle a couple of different times, but he's also gone overseas. I don't know what he wants to do, if he's going to want to stay here and play this year, or if he's going to go back overseas. I think he played in Serbia last year, if I'm not mistaken. But he's been around. He's bounced around G League, NBA, overseas. So if he wants to play here, I think the Hustle would still have his player rights for the G League, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like DJ Jeffries, can DJ Jeffries earn a Hustle contract? Possibly. Local guy, I guess they, could maybe he can show enough to at least get a Hustle deal. But a couple of these other guys are G League players, but other teams have their rights. Like Kevon Harris and Isaiah Miller, other G League teams have their rights. So they would have to acquire their returning player rights in order to be able to sign them to a Hustle deal. And that might happen. But they could also just play Summer League with the Grizzlies and then go back to their other G League teams.
Yeah. Now, Castlin, he played for the Lakers at one point in their Summer League. Am I correct, or am I thinking of the wrong?
No, you're thinking of Castleton, the center from Florida, who I like him a lot. That's Kyle. Is it Kyle?
Kyle Castlin.
But is Castleton also a Kyle? I think it is. There's Kyle Castlin and there's Kyle Castleton. Is it Castleton? I think it is Kyle Castleton. Now that you say that. I enjoyed Castleton. He was really good at Florida. I really like him. Did you find his first name? It's Castleton. His last name is Castle and then Ton.
Colin.
Okay. There, okay.
Colin Castle.
That's right. Well, Kyle was kind of sounding right, but not quite. That's okay. So it's close to Kyle, but no. Yeah. Colin Castleton, he's on a two-way with the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken. Or is he a two-way guy?
I thought he was a two-way guy.
I think he's a two-way guy. I'm pretty sure Castleton is a two-way guy for the Lakers. Yeah, Kyle Castlin, he played overseas last year. I don't know. Again, I don't know what his plans are as far as after the Summer League, if he wants to go back overseas or if he plans on staying around and trying to play in the G League or something as far as that is concerned as well. That wraps up hour number one. Coming up in hour number two, a lot of other stuff to get to, including some college football as Memphis football gets a big commitment once again. Major League Baseball, some tragedy from the world of college and NFL football. Golf from the weekend, a very interesting story that took place at the John Deere Classic. All that coming up as we get hour number two rolling right after this. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
They're taking care of business in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called God Hopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Celebrate July 4th with savings at Lowe's. For a limited time, save on the essentials you need to make your garden pop for summer, like Miracle-Gro 25-quart potting mix. Get 2 bags for just $16 and get up to 40% off. Plus, save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances. Hurry, these deals won't last long because Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 7/10. Miracle-Gro excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount, excluding supply. See Lowe's.com for more details. While supplies last.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. The traffic light was still acting up a few minutes ago over there at Lamar and Winchester. Use caution, common sense through that intersection. Traffic's on the increase even more in the last few minutes on 51 southbound, coming out of Millington down through Woodstock. Still not bad. 40 west from Germantown Parkway up to Sycamore View Road. Hey, Havenly Showers is your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom and your tub to curbless shower conversion. Log on to havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
To Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The second hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you each and every day by James Gaddis Jewelers. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. Looking for that special diamond ring, that special wedding ring, or personally designed wedding set? You need to head over to James Gaddis Jewelers. They are full-service jewelers with 2-bench jewelers ready to serve you. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition, so they make sure there's a price point to suit everyone's budget. Perhaps you're looking for that special watch, custom-made jewelry of all types, gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants. So many choices at James Gaddis Jewelers, plus the romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. Layaway and financing is available. You want to sell your gold, silver, and diamonds? James Gaddis will give you a great price on that. Plus, if you need something appraised, James is a certified appraiser. Just head over to James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue, your family's jeweler.
It is hour number 2 of Sports 56 Mornings on this Monday, July the 8th, 2024. 8:06 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Check out those pools and hot tubs and patio umbrellas and play gyms, all kinds of great stuff to keep you cool during the summer months or spend some time outside, whatever it is you're looking to do. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. It is a humid day today, going to be humid. Currently 78 degrees, on its way up to near 90 degrees for a temperature. Heat index is reaching near 100 and possibly getting over the 100 mark today. There is a chance of some rain, but for the most part, some sun, some clouds throughout the day. About a 25% chance of rain in the forecast for today. It is hour number 2, and it is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Coming up in hour number 3 today, we're going to talk with Mike Claiborne from the Cardinals Radio Network. Also, Brad Logan from down in Oxford. Going to talk some Ole Miss with him in hour number 1. We focused on the Grizzlies as they get their summer league started tonight with the game against the Utah Jazz, 8 o'clock Central Time. It'll be on ESPN. Over the weekend, they not only announced their summer league roster, but also the coaching staff for this season, with a lot of changes included in that, with only 2 assistant coaches returning. By the way, Zach, Indiana and Chicago, they basically have the exact same record right now. Indiana's 9-13, Chicago's 8-12. So if you're going by a record, there is no separator between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark right now.
Okay.
They're tied in the standings. Basically, Indiana with 1 more win and 1 more loss than Chicago. And Indiana's 2-1, I think, against Chicago in head-to-head matchups. I think they're 2-1 against Chicago. But yeah, they are dead even in the standings right now.
May the best woman win.
It's amazing. You look at the Eastern Conference standings of the WNBA. New York and Connecticut both 17-4. And then it goes to Indiana at 9-13. I would say there are 2 dominant teams. And sadly, Washington is 5-17. So Washington's just terrible in together. Washington just can't play basketball. Their NBA team's terrible. Their WNBA team's terrible. No matter what they do in Washington, it is absolutely terrible. I mentioned coming up in hour number 3, we'll talk with Mike Claiborne, Cardinals Radio Network, about the Cardinals. Cardinals have been red hot, 32-18 since May 12th, which is the best record in the National League during that time. They got a win yesterday over Washington. They played a very rare 4-game series that ends on Monday. Don't see that very often, but they're in Washington for a game later this afternoon, trying to take 3 out of 4 from the Nationals in that one. But they are a very interesting team because they have now moved into second place in the NL Central with a record overall of 47-42. But yet they've got a run differential of -39. To have a -39 run differential and be above 500 seems like it would be hard to do. As a matter of fact, they're the only team in Major League Baseball that has a negative run differential but a record of over 500 with their 47-42 mark. They're 5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers. Only one All-Star for the Cardinals, Ryan Helsley, the reliever, who's been absolutely outstanding this year. He will be their representative. Now, there will be other players added to All-Star rosters because pitchers that won't be able to pitch because they pitch on Sunday, all of those other things that happen. So there will be other players that need to be added to these All-Star rosters. But the reserves were announced yesterday, and Helsley is the only All-Star for the Cardinals. The Orioles, who have been absolutely outstanding and are first place in the AL East with a 57-33 mark. They had all those finalists when it came down to the final 2 for all the different positions. They had a bunch of finalists. They only got a couple of those guys that actually made it as starters. And they only have one other person. They only have 3 total players, which people thought they were going to get certainly more than that. Jordan Westberg is the guy that most people believe was the biggest snub. He from the Orioles. And again, good chance he will still make the team. Because again, there will be guys. We know there are some National League guys like Fernando Tatis Jr., who is not going to play in the game. We don't know yet. Bryce Harper could be back. Mookie Betts will not play. So there's definitely going to be some replacements that have to be named on the National League side. When we know there will be pitchers who pitch on Sunday that will not be then able to pitch in the game. So they'll be replaced as well. And so some of these guys. The best story, although there's a lot of good stories because there's 32 first-time All-Stars, which is pretty amazing. That's basically half. That's half of the 64 All-Stars are first-timers this year. just cool to see. A lot of the new talent getting recognized, having great years. David Fry is probably the best story. I mean, David Fry, who I'm guessing anybody other than really Cleveland Guardians fans probably have never heard of before this season. And even with the year he's having, probably still haven't heard much of him. But he makes the All-Star team. He was a thrown-in player in a trade a couple of years ago, like nothing, never done anything. And this year he's hitting .305 with a .920 OPS. And he will be in Texas as an All-Star representing the American League. The All-Star game coming up a week from tomorrow. We also found out that Pete Alonso will be in the home run derby again. I'm assuming he will probably be the betting favorite because he's really good at home run derbies and really loves winning them. So he will probably end up being the betting favorite, but he will be in the home run derby. That'll be coming up a week from today, next Monday night, before the game on Tuesday. In Major League Baseball over the weekend, Friday night was bizarre. I don't know, there was something in the water or something going on Friday night. Arizona and San Diego on Friday night. San Diego leading 7-2 going into the ninth inning. Arizona puts up 6 in the ninth to take the lead 8-7. Only then to have San Diego get home runs from Jerickson Profar and Manny Machado. Machado hits the walk-off. So they give up 6 in the ninth to blow the lead and then come back at the bottom of the ninth to score 3 to win the game 10-8. Meanwhile, the Twins on Friday night, they score 7 in the ninth inning, only to come up 1 short against the Astros. They were trailing 13-5 going to the ninth inning and scored 7 to end up losing 13-12. That's one of those games, like if you bet the Astros minus a run and a half, you would be like, that's as painful as it gets. That's why if you're betting Major League Baseball, as tempting as it can be to get those better odds, don't bet the minus run and a half. It will only frustrate you. It will drive you crazy. Because you'll have a game like that. 13-5 going to the ninth inning. You can't possibly lose if you had the Astros minus a run and a half. Unless, of course, the Twins score 7 runs and lose by 1. It is the most... It will absolutely drive you crazy. Also on Friday night, history was made. There were 4 or 6 guys on Friday night who had 4-hit games. 6 players with 4-hit games. There were 5 guys who hit multiple home runs in games on Friday night. And there were 5 grand slams hit on Friday night. It becomes the first time in the history of baseball. Again, they've been playing baseball for a long time. It's always amazing when something happens that has never happened before. But it's the first time there's ever been at least 5 of all of those in one day. So at least 5 players with a 4-hit game, at least 5 players with multiple home runs, and at least 5 grand slams hit. All on the same day. Friday was the first time that's ever happened in the history of baseball. Absolutely amazing to think that that could be the first time. Also in Major League Baseball, the Yankees. Yikes. It's a struggle right now for the Bronx Bombers. They have not won back-to-back games in nearly a month. June 9th through the 12th, they won 4 straight games. They have not won back-to-back games since. They're 0-6-1 in their last 7 series. They're now 3 games behind Baltimore in the AL East. They're 3-7 over their last 10. It's a bit of a struggle. We'll see what the Yankees end up doing at the trade deadline.
They gotta fix their bullpen, man.
But again, like they got a run differential of plus 101. and they're still 55 and 37. So it's not like, I mean, yes, they are struggling right now, but the good thing for them is they built up a nice cushion. So while they're in second place now, they're okay.
Right.
It's not time to panic, although we know the Yankees, when you're in New York, it's always panic time if you're losing games. And so I'm sure they will. But, and obviously they've got some injuries and things like that they're dealing with. But it's amazing that they could go through that stretch. Again, haven't won back-to-back games in nearly a month. And they're still 55 and 37. And they're only 3 games behind the Orioles, who it seems like the Orioles never lose. Like I feel like the Orioles just keep on winning, but yet they're only 3 games up. And the Cleveland Guardians have the best record, technically, in the American League. They have the best winning percentage. Baltimore has 1 more win and 1 more loss. So Cleveland, the Guardians, playing .636 baseball, 56 and 32, have the best record in the American League. That's crazy to think. As we approach the All-Star game, the Guardians, number 1 in the American League.
And they're not the best overall team either. Like, they just play well together.
It's, again, like there was no reason to believe this was coming from the Guardians this year. There's just nothing. Again, but guys like David Fry having this unbelievable year, just completely out of nowhere. If you look at their roster, you'd be like, what? How? How are they this good? Nothing about it stands out. But they have been absolutely fantastic. Randy texted in on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line. Says there's been 11 teams to have negative run differential and still make the playoffs. Most recently, 2023 with both the Marlins and Diamondbacks. Yeah, again, yes, it happens, especially now with all these playoff teams that we have. Now that we've added playoff teams, it's not crazy to think you can make the postseason with a negative run differential. But again, negative 39 and be 5 games over 500, that's not easy to do. For instance, the Reds are plus 14 and they're 6 games below 500. That's also hard to do. But what it tells you about the Cardinals is they win close games. When they lose, they get blown out. But they win their close games. And you need to do that. And again, they are the only team right now in Major League Baseball with a negative run differential and a record above 500. Tampa Bay is a negative 67 run differential and only 2 games below 500. Also pretty impressive and difficult to do. Randy also says the Twins, when they won the World Series in '87 against the Cardinals, they had a negative 20 run differential during the regular season. Now that's impressive because back then there weren't many playoff teams. That was the benefit of a division that they could win. But to do that when there weren't many playoff teams and have a negative run differential, not only get in the postseason, but then win the World Series, that is some very impressive stuff. That is for sure. I did not realize that they had a negative run differential that year. Fleet Feet is the place to go to get all your running gear. Want to get shoes that are just right for you? Well, go see the folks at Fleet Feet. They'll do that for you by taking a look at the way you run, the way you walk. They'll then get you fitted with shoes that are perfect, with the support in the right places. Everybody's a little different, where they put the pressure on the different parts of their feet when they're walking or running. And the shoes are all different as well, where they have that support. So the folks at Fleet Feet, they'll make sure that you got the shoes that are just right for you. So when you're out there running or walking or maybe just on your feet every day, you don't have to have any issues, no injuries, no problems. You can stay healthy. Also, if you want to get involved in their group runs, things like that, you can do that. Go to fleetfeetmemphis.com. On the website, they keep you up to date with things they've got going on. They're all runners. They're all about runners. That's what it's about at Fleet Feet. 2 locations in East Memphis. It's in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. Out in Collierville, Poplar and Houston Levy, next to Huey's. 2 locations of Fleet Feet, and also again online at fleetfeetmemphis.com. Memphis football got another big commitment. Ryan Silverfield and company are rolling. Talk about that when we come back. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their valuable tools, but to protect their professional reputations. For pros, the WeatherGuard badge makes a statement about what drives them. It says, "Bring it on. Been there. Done that. We've got your back," without saying a word. And the folks at WeatherGuard, they're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. See what it means to be driven at weatherguard.com.
There are many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Collierville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and Mary Jean Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520.
I have the perfect place for all you round ballers out there. If you want to improve your game, you want to become a better shooter, Shoot 360 Memphis is the place for you. They've been around now for a while in Collierville, and they are about to open up their new store in Cordova. You can become a member at either one or both locations, and now they're transitioning to monthly memberships. From preps to pros, this is about as cool a place as you'll ever see. If you are a basketball player looking to perfect your shot, challenge yourself, compete with others, and really learn the proper ways to shoot the basketball using modern analytics. What they do is a revolutionary training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with expert coaching to improve shooting skills. The facility is equipped with advanced shooting machines that provide real-time feedback on shooting accuracy, and most importantly, arc in depth. Players can track their progress and analyze their performance. Again, currently in Collierville and coming soon to Cordova. So take advantage of it right now with the new transition to monthly memberships. Call them, 901-316-5500. Set up a tour of the facility or go online to register and sign up at Shoot 360 Memphis. It's where the preps and the pros go to get their shot on. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A couple of accidents in the clearing stages out here. It's trying to pick up in a couple of spots, like coming down Bill Morris Parkway 385 as you come past Riverdale, headed towards 240. Coming up from the south, still looks good on 55 northbound, up through DeSoto County, all the way up into South Haven. Hey, Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless or a shower conversion. Just log on to havenlyshowers.com for all the details. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So Memphis football over the weekend gets a commitment from 2025 wide receiver Raheem Hutchins, who chooses Memphis over Nebraska and Houston, among others, as Ryan Silverfield and company continue to rack up some good commitments. Obviously, you got Antoine Hill Jr. coming in at quarterback. Now you got what appears to be a nice target for him and Raheem Hutchins, as long as they follow through and ends up here at the University of Memphis. But there's no doubt that the expanded playoff and the fact that for Ryan Silverfield and company, they can say, like, listen, you come here, you've got a great opportunity to play in the playoff. It is having an effect on recruiting. That's great. I mean, it is. That is a huge selling point. Obviously, the FedEx money for the NIL, that type stuff, that's also a massive help and a big part of this. But that ability to go and as what Ryan Silverfield told us, when talking to a recruiter, listen, you come here, we win our conference, really good chance we can get into the playoff. But if you go there, what are the chances you win your conference? And granted, you don't have to win the conference to get in, but here, you win the conference, really good chance you're in. I was reading my Phil Steele magazine over the weekend, just kind of checking some various things out. Because he does his top teams at each position group in the country. He has Memphis as 13th in quarterbacks, which actually says he would have them higher, but the fact that the backups are untested is the reason he didn't put them even higher, because he really loves Seth Hennigan. He has, he said, I would have this unit higher, but backups are untested. So he has them 13th. But think about that. Memphis 13th when it comes to quarterbacks in the country. He has him 25th in wide receiver group, 48th in offensive line. So I was thinking, like, just on the offensive side of the ball right there. 13th quarterback, 25th wide receiver, 48 offensive line that Phil Steele has the Memphis rank. Again, that's across the country. That's including the SEC and Big Ten and all of them. He has Seth Hennigan, by the way, listed as his 14th best draft-eligible quarterback, which I was really surprised. He has Jackson Dart, number 2, among his draft-eligible quarterbacks. Only Carson Beck ahead of Jackson Dart on his top draft-eligible quarterbacks. Talk with Brad Logan coming up at the 9 o'clock hour a little bit more about that. I like Jackson Dart, but I don't know that I think of him that highly as an NFL product. He has Memphis ranked 26th in his preseason top 40. However, because of their schedule and the fact that they've got the tough road games on their schedule in conference play, playing at UTSA, at Tulane, and at USF. He has the Tigers finishing tied for second with Tulane. He has UTSA winning the American Athletic Conference. Tulane and Memphis tied for second, and then USF fourth. So again, of his top 4 teams, Memphis plays the other 3 of them all on the road, which hurts. And so that's why he does not have them winning the conference. UTSA gets, obviously, Memphis at home. They don't play Tulane. And they don't play USF. So the schedule really benefits UTSA. The conference schedule does. Their road games are at East Carolina, at Rice, at Tulsa, and at Army, with Temple, North Texas, Memphis, and Florida Atlantic as their home games. So a very, very favorable conference schedule for UTSA, and that's why Phil Steele picks them to win the American Athletic Conference. They play Texas in their non-conference. Of course, Memphis has the Florida State game in their non-conference. UTSA is at Texas in their non-conference. Whereas Tulane, the other again top team, has both Kansas State and Oklahoma in their non-conference. And while Tulane does not play UTSA, they host Memphis, and then they get USF at home as well. So again, very favorable, although they don't get to avoid the teams like UTSA does. They do get their other 2 tough opponents. Theoretically, if that's the top 4 teams in the conference, they get those 2 at home. They avoid UTSA altogether, so it works out well for them. Again, Memphis really got the short end of the straw as far as the scheduling goes with the way it works out. Again, assuming those are the top 4 teams in the conference, Memphis having to play all 3 of them, and not even just that, but having to play all 3 of them on the road, very difficult task as far as that is concerned. Phil Steele, with the SEC, he has Georgia and Texas tied for first. Alabama third, Ole Miss fourth. And then LSU, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, all in a tie for fifth. He loves him some Ole Miss, man. He loved Jackson Dart and company. You look at their rankings on units and where he believes they are. I mean, they are very high. Again, we'll talk with Brad Logan more about Ole Miss coming up in our final hour today, along with Mike Claiborne as well. Some awful news in the world of football. Early Saturday morning in Maryland, Vikings fourth-round draft pick Kyrie Jackson, who played college ball at Alabama and then finished his career at Oregon last year before becoming that draft pick in the fourth round. He was killed in a car crash that also killed former Charlotte and Maryland player Isaiah Hazel and former Florida State and Penn State player Anthony Litton Jr. They were apparently run off the road and hit, I don't know, like some tree stumps or something, and I guess the car flipped, whatever, but all three died in that accident. I mean, that is just awful, awful stuff to see. They were all high school teammates and all three killed in that car crash over the weekend. Also over the weekend, by the way, did you see the results from the Copa America? What Panama did? The Panama team that beat the United States? Did you see what they did?
No.
They got beat 5-0. Colombia beats Panama 5-0, and we can't beat them.
You hate to see it.
We lost to them. and they go on to lose 5-0 in the quarterfinals. Canada did win, though. Canada can't win a hockey title in the NHL, but maybe they can win a Copa America title in soccer. Actually, they probably can't because they got to play Argentina next. Canada and Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia. Yeah, Panama losing 5-0. And we as Americans can't beat them. Unbelievable what in the world is going on. In golf over the weekend, the John Deere Classic was won by Davis Thompson, who finished tied for second the previous week at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Thompson shoots a measly 28 under par for the week, which is a John Deere Classic record. And he's not the guy who shot 59. They had a 59 shot in the tournament on Thursday. And then Davis Thompson goes on to shoot 28 under for the tournament. But the interesting part of this story is, so there's a group of golfers that are all from Georgia. I think they're either from Georgia or went to Georgia, or it's a combination of both. They all rent a house together at the John Deere Classic. 2 years ago, JT Poston was staying in that house. He won the John Deere Classic. Last year, Sepp Straka, staying in that house, won the John Deere Classic. This year, Sepp Straka, who won last year, he brought his wife and kids to the John Deere Classic, so he didn't stay in the house. He gave up his spot. Well, who took his spot? Davis Thompson took his spot, and Davis Thompson wins the John Deere Classic. So 3 straight years, the winner of the John Deere Classic has been staying in that house.
What type of magic voodoo?
There should be
over there.
There's got to be a waiting list. Like everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, if you're out, I want in. I want in this thing."
It's like, when you going on vacation? It's like, oh, okay, right.
And the good thing is, so their deal is if somebody staying there wins, they pick up the bill for the week. I don't know who the other golfers are that have been staying there that haven't won, because I think they said there's 6 people that stay there. So they haven't had to pay in 3 years. If you're one of the other people that hasn't won, you've been free for 3 years now, because the person who wins has to pick up the bill. So life's good for those people. They just go play the John Deere Classic and never have to pay for anything.
Yeah. What 1.4 million? I guess
like Davis Thompson said, like, I got to pay. Unfortunately, he said, unfortunately, I have to pay for the week now, but that's a check I'm happy to write. And again, he finished tied for second last week at the Rocket Mortgage, so he probably made, I don't know what that would, at the Rocket Mortgage was probably what, 400,000 or 500,000. I don't know how many people tied for second, but he made a few $100,000 last week, and then turns around this week and makes 1.4 million. He's doing all right.
Yeah, like 4 people tied for second.
Yeah, so he's been. I don't know how much that house in Silvis, Illinois, is costing, but I think he can afford it. I think he's going to be just right. He's a guy that they talked about all weekend, that like they feel like, because he's won at every level. Like he's been like the top player at like every level. When he was a junior, top, like high ranked junior, college golf, everything. Like he's just amateur, whatever. Like he's always been like one of the best among his peers. And so there's a lot of people that think that he could be one of those guys who really starts winning a lot. And they were talking yesterday that like it could be a Scotty Scheffler type thing, that now that he has a win, could he kind of break loose? Because remember, when Scheffler came on tour, he was in that group that came out, and all the other guys won, and he didn't win at first. It took Scheffler a long time to get his first win, and then once he got that win, now he obviously can't quit winning. So could Davis Thompson be that type of guy that now just starts stringing together wins? He was unbelievable yesterday.
Speaking of him, Like I'm going back and look at his past, where he finished in the past these bigger tournaments. Like in the U.S. Open, he finished like in the top 10.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's like
I didn't know he finished in the top 10, but he was a top 10 finisher.
Yeah, like he's one of those guys like that name, like Davis Thompson, because he hadn't won anything. Like he hadn't won, you'll see that you don't even pay attention to it on the leaderboard. Yeah, when they were going through his like what he's done, I was like, oh, okay, I had no idea. Like how much money has he earned for the year? Do you have that?
Not.
But yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of good finishes. And yeah, I had no idea that he was a top 10 at the U.S. Open.
His earnings is $3.7 million.
For this year?
Yeah, this year.
Like that's what's like amazing. He just got his first win ever on tour. And he's made $3.7 million just this year. And Jack Nicklaus made like a little over $4 million for his entire career. Winning 18 majors and having, 19 second-place finishes in majors. Made just over $4 million. Here's a kid who just now finally got his first win, and he's approaching $4 million for the season. Yeah, I mean, yesterday, he comes in with a 2-shot lead and then just makes every single putt he looks at on the front nine. Shoots 29 on the front nine, and the tournament was over. It was absolutely over. There was nobody... Back nine was just coasting, and it was whether he was going to break the record or not, which he does break it at 28 under par. The previous record at the John Deere Classic was 27 under par, and he ends up beating that and getting his first career win. It also got him into the British Open. He was not qualified, which I didn't understand because I would have thought, when they were saying that, I thought top 10 in the U.S. Open got you into the British Open. But apparently it's only like, top 5 maybe? I don't know. I always thought top 10 in the U.S. Open would get you into the British, but he was not qualified for the British until he got the win yesterday. So now he'll be qualified for the British Open, and he's in all majors now for the next, 2-3 years that a win on tour gets you qualified for all those. But, yeah, he's a hell of a player. That is for sure. And I don't know if he putts like that all the time. But you putt like that, you're going to win a lot because he did not miss a thing. He had over 100 foot of made putts in the first 7 holes yesterday. Just making bomb after bomb after bomb. 8:44 the time here in the Family Leisure Studios. Back to wrap up hour number 2 right after this. Sport 56 mornings on Sport 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Everyone loves home improvement. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51 makes it easy. A real hardware store run by 3 generations of a real hardware family where you can get it all. Whether it's repairs, remodeling, or new building, kitchens, bathrooms, tiles, tubs, vanities, sinks, mirrors, lighting, furniture, even door hardware. All the latest designs as well as timeless classics. And if outdoor fun is on your mind, they have the big green egg and accessories. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51, 8560 Highway 51. Easy home improvement.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge
huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Does it squeal or grind when you brake? Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So I pulled up a mock draft for next year. They do have Cooper Flagg 1. Your guy, Edgecombe, they have 5th. This is USA Today. They have Ace Bailey, who's one of the Rutgers guys, going 2nd. Then Dylan Harper, the other Rutgers guy, which is just, that's crazy. Like, think about that.
What's going on in Rutgers, man?
Think about that. They're like, if this was true, that Rutgers would have the number 2 and 3 picks in a draft. That's insane. And then they have Nolan Traore from France, because you got to have French people up there now. You know that. We know there's going to be Frenchmen taken to the top of the draft. Frenchmen are producing at an all-time high right now at number 4. And then they've got Edgecombe at 5. See if this is next year's going to be a really good draft. Some really good international guys once again, but a lot of really good college guys that are going to be coming out next year. But yeah, Cooper Flagg, that dude is going to be problems for people at Duke. Duke's got a lot. Duke's loaded. Of course, the University of Memphis basketball still been quiet. And you'd think that you'd still want to add a player or two. And I don't know what's out there. You don't want to just add to add, but they've only got, 9 scholarship players right now? Seems like you'd want more than that. But that's just me. And again, maybe there will be some weird, crazy late addition somehow. We've seen Penny's done that in the past. That suddenly somebody comes available or whatever. And maybe he can add somebody. Again, you don't want to just add to add, but you do need some depth. But it has been very, very quiet on the Memphis basketball front over the past, 2-3 weeks or so. Zach, are you upset that your girl Coco is out of Wimbledon?
Yeah, because she's the only reason why I was keeping up with her, to be honest with
Well,
you.
at least she lost to an American. It's an American that advanced.
I guess. I guess.
No respect whatsoever for the other Americans.
No, it's not. It's just I'm very protective of, especially the younger generation that's coming up. I'm a little bit more protective of them. Like, I want them to go out and just seize everything that's in front of them. So
Wimbledon has not been her thing.
It's not.
The grass, I guess, but she's never made it past the 4th round, right? I think this is she keeps going out in the 4th round. She can't ever win that match. The round she lost in this year, I think was what she lost in last year, and she's never been past that 4th round. So it was weird too, because she was like basically arguing with her coach, like during the match, Brad Gilbert. She's looking up in the box, like, I guess trying to get help. Afterwards said that the game plan wasn't working, but I mean, it's a tenant. Like, You're in the middle of a tennis match. You can't be looking up to your box and expecting them to be able to coach you to the win at that point. Like,
Sometimes
it's either going to happen or it's not. Like, it's a little late now to be trying to get help from the guy up in the box. Send me a lifeline, dude. I got nothing for you. You just need to play better.
I think it's really a mentality thing. It's just because it took Serena a minute to kind of win over on Wimbledon before she started to consistently started to win her not Grand Slams, but to get be in the final. So I think it's a mentality thing.
How old is Coco now?
Coco's like 20.
Gosh. That's really? No, come on. How old was she when she first came on the scene?
16? 15?
I feel like she's been around for 10 years now. How old is she?
She's 20.
She's 20.
Yeah, her birthday is one day before mine. That's why I'm protective of her.
You know who shares a birthday with me, by the way, that I did not know this?
Who's that?
So I was looking at Summer League rosters. Bronny James.
Step aside, Eli.
Me and Bronny have the same birthday.
That's funny.
He's just a little younger than me. October 6th is Bronny's birthday. I had no idea. I was looking through Summer League rosters and stumbled upon his birthday. And I was like, look at that. October 6th, Bronny James.
Now, I will say, I used to do that a couple of years ago to see who falls at least into the month of March. But yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, there's not many October 6th. There was funny because there were a couple of them on the showboats. This past year, there was a couple of guys that had October 6th birthdays. One of them was Case Cookus, the quarterback. He's an October 6th birthday. But as far as the big famous people, my birthday is very there's not much there, and then suddenly Bronny James. I can claim Bronny James as a birthday mate because is it LeBron and Tiger that have the same birthday?
Wait, they do?
I think it's LeBron and Tiger were both born on. It's December 30th or something like that.
Yeah. Now that I think LeBron December.
Is that right? Him and Tiger?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So LeBron's got Tiger, and Bronny's got me that they share birthdays with.
Well, you need to coach him up.
Advantage Bronny, clearly.
You need to coach him up a little bit.
Clearly advantage Bronny. He gets me as his birthday mate. LeBron, the older one, gets Tiger Woods as his birthday mate. Bronny James, in case you missed it, 4 points in his Summer League debut. 2 of 9 from the field. Got shown up by Memphis Hustle standout Adonis Arms, who had 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. And then Bronny sat out last night because of a knee soreness issue, is expected to play tonight. They're playing in the California Summer League in San Francisco. And then the Grizzlies open up play tonight in Utah in their first Summer League game again, 8 o'clock tonight. It will be on ESPN in the Utah Summer League. And then they'll play 3 games in Utah, and then all these teams head to Las Vegas for the big Summer League in Las Vegas.
By the way, this person's not an athlete, but I think he contributes heavy in society. My birthday mate, I'm taking Albert Einstein. So.
Oh wow, that's a good.
Yeah.
I think he had a good jump shot too. I think Albert Einstein, he was an underrated athlete.
I mean, he got the formulas, man. Hey, analytic basketball was invented by Albert Einstein.
If there was ever one to do it, it would have been him. He should have been doing analytics back then. He could have figured it all out. We don't have to wait till today. That'll wrap up hour number 2. Coming up in hour number 3 of the program, we'll kick off the hour. Talk a little Ole Miss, maybe a little Mississippi State as well. Brad Logan will join us, talking a little college football. Again, Big 12 Media Days tomorrow and Wednesday. SEC Media Days next week. Talking season is here. And we're going to be getting into some college football. Then Mike Claiborne on the Cardinals. That's coming your way. Hour number 3 on this Monday morning. Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in front of the wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place, the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
For retro cruiser styling packed with modern innovations, riders of all skill levels choose a Honda Rebel. Incredible motorcycles with a stripped-down style and a full package of features. Both the 300 and the 500 offer compact power inside a lightweight frame. Combined with a low slung seat, the Rebel is easy to start on. And with new colors for this year, they are impossible to ignore. Go to DeSoto Honda to check out the 2023 Honda Rebels. Cruisers with premium style and performance to enjoy every second. Use the street as a racetrack with the law with the owners.
Get Bosch Pure Vision wiper blades, buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts, in-store only. We'll install them for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic volume on the interstate hadn't been too bad out here this morning. It's actually moving fairly decent. Coming in from Fayette County into Shelby County on 40 going westbound all the way up to Sycamore View Road. Still a few ranks in their clearing stages out here. Traffic's been in pretty good shape so far on 55 up through DeSoto County. Hey, Havenly Showers is your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversion. Log on to havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Hour 3 of the program is brought to you each and every day by Jenkins Floors and More. They have the new warehouse open up at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, Mississippi. They have other stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, and in Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting. It is a family-owned and operated business. And if it's variety you're looking for, they have it at Jenkins Floors and More. SPC and WPC vinyls, which are scratch-resistant, waterproof, top of the line. Ceramic and porcelain tiles, hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, plus backsplashes, plantation shutters and blinds, and so much more. And they sell it wholesale. They skip the middleman, going to save you lots of money. Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins started this business 8 years ago in their garage. And because of their quality of work, their attention to detail, and their pricing, they have earned the reputation of being one of the top flooring companies in the area. So for residential and commercial, that means homeowners, contractors out there, do yourself a favor, see what Jenkins Floors and More has to offer, and they will install. They'll do so in unheard of 2-week turnaround. They will come to you, give you a free estimate. Financing is available. They're open Monday through Saturday. Call them, 662-469-9350, or stop by any of their 3 stores, including their new warehouse at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, Mississippi. It's Jenkins Floors and More.
Hour number 3, Sports 56 Mornings. It's 9:02 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Currently up to just under 80 degrees right now. We're looking at actually just over 82 degrees now, but a heat index already nearing 95. Again, a very humid morning out there today. Heat index, the numbers should get up right around triple digits. Temperatures right around 90 degrees. There is a chance some rain in spots around the area today. And then hopefully clearing out this afternoon with some sunshine, a few more clouds as well. But again, that humidity is going to stick around. There's no doubt about that. That is going to be a humid day. It was one of those where you walked out and this morning, it just kind of smacked you in the face. Or if you're like me and you wear glasses, well, then your glasses fog up and you can't see anything. It was one of those kinds of mornings. Tomorrow, rain expected, possibly from the effects of the tropical rainstorm Beryl. There could be some of those storms getting a little bit severe. That's on the forecast for tomorrow. But then it looks like Wednesday. Wednesday's actually supposed to be nice and not nearly as hot as well on Wednesday. Coming up in just a moment, Brad Logan will join us. Going to talk a little Ole Miss football. Of course, I get a little some of the baseball and basketball as well. Some things going on. All the things going on down at Ole Miss with Brad Logan. Later in the hour, Mike Claiborne from the Cardinals Radio Network. They are in Washington with a game this afternoon to wrap up their 4-game series against the Nationals. Major League Baseball All-Star Reserves announced yesterday, and Ryan Helsley will be the Cardinals representative down in Texas for that. And coming up tonight, it is Summer League basketball for the Memphis Grizzlies in Utah as Zach Edey and Jalen Wells and Cam Spencer will make their debuts as the Grizzlies will take on the Jazz. It's an 8 o'clock game, and it will be televised on ESPN. Tomorrow, they play the 76ers. That also on ESPN. And the final game in Utah on Wednesday will be on NBA TV. Tonight at 8 o'clock. The next 2 nights, there'll be 6 o'clock games that the Grizzlies will be playing. And then they're on to Vegas. Their first game in Vegas will be on Friday. Right now, we do want to talk a little college football. Week from today, SEC Media Days will be getting underway. Tomorrow, Big 12 Media Days. Kick off all the media days around the country. And want to talk a little bit about the Ole Miss Rebels. And we do so with our good friend from down there, Brad Logan, who covers the Rebels for 24/7 Sports. He does the Believe in Ole Miss podcast, Red Blue Crew podcast. He does all kinds of podcasts and coverage of Ole Miss. You can follow him on Twitter at Brad Logan, COTE, and he joins us on the program. Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Good morning, Eli. I appreciate the opportunity to come on. Yeah, SEC Media Day right around the corner. It jumped up on us. It really did.
It always seems to do so. With that being said, I have to believe this is one of the most anticipated seasons we've seen for Ole Miss in quite some time. What is the mood as folks are waiting for this season to get here with the expectations around this program?
Well, I mean, we heard Lane Kiffin say not long ago, and in fact during the spring, that it's the most talented roster he's ever had. And Eli, you and I are pretty much the same age. I don't know that we've seen a roster this loaded for Ole Miss in our lifetime. Now, obviously, we talk about roster paper and that sort of thing. You have to talk about tangible results on the field. So there's some things that have to happen for Ole Miss to have that special season. But I think the pieces are in place, and I think the fan base understands that. Keith Carter, the director of athletics, has said the season tickets are sold out, that student tickets are sold out. There's some special things they're doing from an allotment standpoint to try to get more people into the stadium. Parking is sold out. Everything is sold out in Oxford for the upcoming season, which, if everyone knows, begins August the 31st against Furman. So it's the most anticipated. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic by saying the most anticipated football season, at least in the history of anyone that's alive, unless you want to date back to the 1959 season. It's the most anticipated season in Ole Miss history.
I certainly don't think you could argue that. Again, I mean, with the expanded playoff, everything else that goes into this, and the schedule works out. I mean, the fact that they get Oklahoma and Georgia both at home, I mean, you can look at the schedule and say, yeah, it sets up well as well for them to have that type of year that they're expected to.
Yeah, again, I think you're right. And you specifically starting off with 5 winnable games before you go on the road against South Carolina and LSU. And anyone is going to say that Ole Miss probably is favored in the first 5 games, and maybe the first 6 games at Carolina, even though Carolina will be coming off a bye game. So, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't want to throw, cold water on anything, but, the history with Ole Miss at LSU has not been great. And in fact, 2 years ago, the Rebels went down, and it actually went up 17-3 in the second quarter and lost the game 45-20. So I think Ole Miss is more talented than LSU, probably. But, again, playing at LSU, and we'll see what the game time is going to be on that, but that's not going to be easy. I think if Ole Miss can withstand some definitely some landmines at Carolina and at LSU, you're right. You come home against Oklahoma, then you're on the road at Arkansas, and who knows where Sam Pittman's Hogs will be on November the 2nd. And then it's the big game against Georgia. But definitely some things have to fall into place. I think the schedule sets up pretty well for Ole Miss. We can talk about roster, management all we want and how many starters are returning on offense. But I think it's setting up perfectly for Ole Miss if they can take care of business on the road against Carolina and LSU. But don't rule out Kentucky. Ole Miss had a big game against Kentucky a couple of years ago in Oxford. It was an 11 a.m. game, and Kentucky with Will Levis, pretty much brought everything they had. And Ole Miss had to really squeak away there in the end. So I think Kentucky will definitely be a formidable opponent on September the 28th.
Brad Logan joining us, talking a little Ole Miss. If you're ranking SEC teams right now, where would you put Ole Miss?
With not enough knowledge about Texas, Eli, to make a prediction, I would put them in the top 3. And I think Alabama, until Alabama loses, Alabama deserves to be at the top. That's just my thought process. I understand Kalen DeBoer has critics out there, but until we see them lose on the field, I think they've earned the right to stay at the top along with Georgia. But I think Ole Miss is right there. And I think you start talking about teams like Tennessee, Texas, and we'll see where everyone else kind of falls at that play, after that. Oddly enough, Eli, I'm really fascinated by Oklahoma. Some prognosticators have the Sooners going 6-6, and that seems to be low. And we'll see what happens with the Sooners. But, them coming into Oxford, their athletic director has made a point to say that how much they're excited about coming to Oxford and how they're going to, not necessarily take over Vaught Hemingway, but they're going to bring a huge crowd to the Grove and to the game. And Keith Carter laughed and said, that's great and fine and dandy, but they're getting 5,000 tickets like everybody else. So we'll see. That's going to be a fun game. But yeah, I mean, if things fall into place, I think you have to, pretty much Ole Miss in the absolutely upper quarter at least.
What would it mean for them to get to their first ever SEC championship game?
It's interesting. I think there's a chance that Ole Miss, and I'm not projecting they're going to win the national championship. There's a chance Ole Miss could win the national championship and be number 1 in the country and never set foot in the SEC championship game. Mm-hmm. If, for example, they go 11-1 and fall to Georgia or fall to Oklahoma and beat Georgia, and somehow 2 other teams named Texas and Alabama get in the SEC championship game, that Ole Miss could actually come out smelling better by not possibly incurring a loss and could host a college football playoff game. So you're looking at maybe not playing in the SEC championship game and then hosting maybe a Notre Dame or a Clemson in Oxford, and then 250,000 Ole Miss fans are gridlocked in traffic in Oxford. But back to your original point, is you and I growing up in 1992 when the advent of the SEC championship game came along, it was the goal of the teams in the SEC was to make it to Atlanta and play in the Georgia Dome, and now playing in Mercedes-Benz. Now that's not necessarily the goal. Things have changed. The goalposts have moved, and now it's all about the college football playoff and winning the national championship. Now, I would love to be able to cover a game in Atlanta. I've never had a chance to do that. So it would be neat to be able to go to the SEC championship game and cover that. But I think from a fan standpoint, from fans around the program that you talk to, that's not something that matters to them. It's all about getting to the college football playoff. And this may be a question that you ask, but I'll go ahead and answer this. I think anything less than 10-2 from Ole Miss this year would be a failed season. Ole Miss fans understand the importance of this season. Lane Kiffin and his staff, I can assure you do. And the talent is there, but you have to perform on the field. And Lane Kiffin has been adamant about that. The records are going to indicate how you play on the field, not how much talent you have on paper.
I mentioned this earlier. I got my Phil Steele college football preview magazine, just kind of going through it, checking out various things. I mean, it's such a great magazine. There's so much information to try and digest. But I was looking at his ranking of the top draft-eligible quarterbacks, and he had Jackson Dart second, only Carson Beck ahead of him. Do you think of Jackson Dart as that good of a pro prospect?
I don't know, Eli. I mean, I'm not Mel Kiper, so I don't know a ton about draft eligibility quarterbacks and their talent level and if they're ready for the NFL. But I know for this system and for Charlie Weiss Jr., the offensive coordinator for Ole Miss, and of course Lane Kiffin, the head coach, he's almost perfect for the system. I mean, his players trust him. He's an incredible teammate. You know, you see pictures on social media about videos and pictures about him playing, you know, random games with head coach Lane Kiffin, and you look at the running back for this team, Ulysses Bentley and Henry Parrish, Jordan Watkins, Juice Wells. We could go on and on about how they have a really good camaraderie. I had a chance to watch a lot of videos from the Manning Passing Academy, and, you know, Dart looked good. And there were different media reports out there to say that a lot of the younger players were coming up to him, and he was a leader at that camp. And then we've heard Eli Manning talk about how well he is coachable. And I think that's a huge, huge ordeal going into the NFL. It's how coachable is a prospect. I think Jackson Dart is definitely someone that the NFL owners and scouts really like. But to answer your question, I don't know where he falls on the draft board. But what I do know, he's definitely one of the most experienced and one of the better quarterbacks, or one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. And he is perfect for this Ole Miss system.
You mentioned some of those names at that receiver position. I mean, my goodness. When you add Wells to that group, you've got Priest going back at tight end as well. What's the weakness of this team?
I don't think they have, and this is, I'm going to get hit pretty hard on this. I'm not sure what the weakness would be on offense, because they return all the starters that they had from last year, not to mention Nate Filippo, the senior out of Washington at the left guard, and Jerquan Scott, the left guard out of Southern Miss. So they've done nothing but add to that. Diego Pounds had a great year, the transfer out of North Carolina. And then you've got Caden Davis, a senior kicker, back. I just don't know. And, you know, we haven't talked about Trey Harris coming back. He has jumped up the draft board. You know, I guess you some people might say running back, because Quinton Judkins, one of the best running backs in the country, left and went to Ohio State. But all of a sudden, Ole Miss, like we talked about a moment, Henry Parrish, who transferred to Miami, came back to Ole Miss because of his relationship with running back coach Kevin Smith. So now you have a really good running back room. Logan Diggs, a transfer out of LSU, who had a knee injury into the bowl game. Ole Miss does not expect him back until at least the November 2nd game against Arkansas. So he won't play much of a factor in the earlier and the middle part of the schedule, but could play a factor in the back half of the schedule in any type of college football playoff run. But then you've got Rashad Amos, who's a running back who's more of a bruiser. Many people remember Snoop Connor out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and he's very similar in that aspect. But at quarterback, it's Jackson Dart, and then Austin Simmons, Walker Howard, the transfer out of LSU. I'm not really sure, Eli, of many weak spots on offense. On defense, I think there's some uncertainty maybe at the defensive back. I mean, they've got Isaiah Hamilton coming back along with Trey Washington and John Saunders, but you know, there was some susceptibility there to make some mistakes during the season last year, but it's definitely not the defensive front with Walter Nolan. Everyone knows about him. And then Prince Umumilan from Florida. Linebackers look good with Chris Pupal Jr. out of Arkansas, along with Corey Coleman. And, of course, Dream Perkins, a former five-star out of Mississippi. So I think probably defensive back, Eli, if you ask me what the biggest question mark is, but otherwise, pretty solid offense and defense for this Ole Miss team.
When Lane Kiffin was hired, did you believe he would be there this long?
No, that's a really good question. This is going to be his 5th year. And Eli, for folks listening, you're wondering, wow, that seems like a long time. Well, it is, because that's the longest he's ever spent at one program. You look back at his history, obviously starting out at Fresno State as a quarterback, and then he's been a head coach at Florida Atlantic. He was there for 3 years. He won 2 Conference USA titles. At Bama, he was there for a couple of years as OC. He was head coach at USC for a couple of years, head coach at Tennessee for 1 year. I think when he took the job, I think all Ole Miss fans felt like okay, 2, maybe 3 years. And in fact, you look back a couple of years ago when Ole Miss kind of went on the skid back in 2022 when it lost to Arkansas on the road pretty bad. It lost to Mississippi State at home. And, you were wondering what's going on with this team. Well, I think a lot of it was with Ole Miss was, not playing well because I think Lane Kiffin was talking to some other teams. And at that point, everyone kind of thought he may go to Auburn. And that didn't get nipped in the bud until the latter part of the season, until after the Egg Bowl. And by that point, Ole Miss did play well in their bowl game and lost to Texas Tech. So I think more than anything, people are excited that he's here. But I think mostly is because of that winning percentage. In fact, Eli very much could go down in history as the best to ever coach at Ole Miss, other than Johnny Vaught. And if Ole Miss does what people think they possibly could do and maybe bring a national championship to a football-hungry program, he'll go down in history as the greatest coach in Ole Miss history, I have no doubt.
What if they did, what if, say they lose 3 games, 4 games, or whatever, they don't make the playoff at all. What's the feeling on Lane Kiffin then from the fan base?
I don't know that it changes a lot. I think there's disappointment. Even a lot of the players, Jackson Dart and other players on social channels were hashtagging Last Dance. So they understand the significance of the season. They understand the pressure with this. I mean, they've kind of pushed all hands on deck. All chips are going to the middle of the table. The Grove Collective, led by Walker Jones, they understand the importance of loading talent for this season. I think there would be a level of disappointment, but I don't think that changes the fact that Lane Kiffin is one of the greatest coaches in Ole Miss history. If they were to go 8-4 or 9-3 and make a really good bowl game and finish 10-3, which Ole Miss has finished under Lane Kiffin over 10 games twice, 10-3 and 21, and then 11-2 last year. So those are really good numbers on a program that's been a bit of a roller coaster over the last 25, 30 years. So I think it would be a disappointment, but I don't think that really changes the fact of what Lane Kiffin has done in Oxford during his time as head coach. You've also got, obviously, football. They're again, you said maybe the most anticipated season ever. I have to believe with Chris Beard and what he's doing with the basketball team, I mean, there's a ton of excitement there. They look on paper like they should be pretty good, and certainly an NCAA tournament team in basketball. But then you got baseball that's on the other end of things right now. They're losing guys in the portal. They've added some guys in the portal as well. What is the overall feeling right now in Oxford about everything going on at Ole Miss? Well, Eli, you've been down here enough, and you've called enough games on the Ole Miss Radio Network to know that football drives the bus. And as long as football is rolling, and I'm not at all saying that the other sports, including Olympic sports, are insignificant, and that's not what I mean. But as long as football is feeding the beast, people can accept some mediocrity in other sports. And with Coach Joe and women's basketball continuing to do well, I want to talk about Chris Beard a moment. Now, this past year, there looked to be some frustration. And actually, oddly enough, I'm on Memphis radio. But when Ole Miss beat Memphis, things just kind of went down after that. And they really struggled. They couldn't find their way. And I think a lot of it was just talent. And seeing what Chris Beard did in the portal and having one of the best transfer portal classes in the country, I expect Ole Miss to do much better. Baseball, I think last I checked, 14 players were in the portal. That's absurd. They have stopped the bleeding a little bit. They've got 5 players coming back, and I expect that continuing to grow. They really like the 5 players that are coming in. But, after that 22 national championship, things just haven't gone well. But I do think this program is under Mike Bianco is one that is solidified in success. And I think Ole Miss fans are just hoping that they can pull it together. But, I think as long as football is doing as well as it is, that kind of shadows a lot of the other problems. But from an athletic standpoint, I know financially they're doing very well athletic-wise. And just from a total student body, Eli, what's interesting is they're having to contract with apartments throughout the city of Oxford because they cannot host the freshmen on campus in the dorms because they don't have enough room.
Really?
And I think a lot of that is attributed to the Lane Kiffin effect. And I'm by no means saying that Lane Kiffin is Nick Saban, but we saw the growth after Nick Saban was hired back in, I think it was 2007, when they started winning the national championships, the Alabama enrollment just went crazy. All of the positive momentum was going forward. And I think as long as Ole Miss can continue that with Lane Kiffin, continue that positive momentum, the enrollment numbers are going to bust. Every single year they break a new record with freshman enrollment. So a lot of positivity, not only on the football field, but from a university standpoint as well.
Yeah, there is no doubt that, especially down here in this part of the world, that your football team's doing well. Enrollment, everything, it's going to go up. Everything, people want to be there, all of that stuff. It's going to be fun. Should be a fun season for sure. My ultimate scenario is still, I want it to work out where the first round of the playoffs is Memphis versus Ole Miss. That's my dream scenario.
Yeah, and look, you know how I feel about the University of Memphis. I love the direction of the program, and if that were to happen, my goodness, you start thinking about the days of David Cutcliffe when Ole Miss came down to or came up to Memphis and beat the Tigers 3-0 when it was 275 degrees in the Liberty Bowl. The days and the times there are changing if Ole Miss hosts the Tigers on a cold December day in Oxford in front of I don't know how many people can get in the stadium, but it will be slap full, and that would be something to see as well.
Yeah, it would be just the idea that we're talking and it's very realistic about both of those teams being in the college football playoff tells you. I mean, there's going to be a lot of excitement around these parts this year. There's no doubt about it. He is Brad Logan, covers the Ole Miss Rebels for 24/7 Sports, does the Believe in Ole Miss podcast, part of the Red Blue Crew podcast as well. You can follow him on Twitter at Brad Logan, COTE. Brad, thanks as always, man, and we'll do it again as we get closer to the season.
I look forward to it, Eli. Thank you, bud.
Brad Logan joining us talking a little Ole Miss. Up next, we're going to talk a little Cardinals baseball. As Mike Claiborne from the Cardinals Radio Network, he's in Washington with the Cardinals as they'll play a game this afternoon against the Nationals to wrap up their series there. We'll talk some baseball with Mike coming up in just a moment. Genesis Diamonds is the place to go when you're thinking about getting engaged. Engagement rings, you're talking about selection. Well, no better place than Genesis Diamonds. All of the top designers out there when it comes to the engagement rings, well, the folks at Genesis Diamonds, they've got all of them. Many, many of them aren't carried anywhere else in Memphis. Genesis Diamonds, they've got them all with an amazing selection of diamonds. Natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, top designer rings. They've got it all for you at Genesis Diamonds. But it's not just about those great engagement rings. Anything else that you're looking for. Maybe it's a pair of earrings or a beautiful necklace or a pendant. Maybe it's a pre-owned Rolex watch. Whatever it is, the folks at Genesis Diamonds are there to take care of you with great selection, great price, and great service as well. That's Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended. Back with Mike Claiborne after this on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, or personal moving concept,
877 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no-obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Something amazing is happening. Data is powering insights and innovation. Network security has cyber attacks playing defense. Devices are improving the quality of work and the quality of life. That's what happens when you partner with CDW. Our experts help you get the most from your technology. We work with you to plan it, build it at scale, and manage it, so you can do amazing things. CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at CDW.com.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios. 9:28 the time. Eli Savoy with you. Zach Boyd here as well. No Greg Gaston today. Thanks to Brad Logan for joining us in our last segment. Talk a little Ole Miss football. We now shift gears, and we talk a little bit of Cardinals baseball. All-Star break just around the corner. Next week is the All-Star game. Cardinals will be taking on the Nationals this afternoon, 3:05 start in Washington. And joining us from the Cardinals Radio Network and, of course, also from ClavesOnline.com is our good buddy, Mike Claiborne. Claves, what's up?
What's going on? I thought we were talking SEC football because University of Missouri is going to win the whole thing.
Hey, it is there's going to be a lot of excitement in Missouri. That's a really good team. They could be a top 10 team in the preseason.
Well, Eli Drinkwitz has done a phenomenal job recruiting, and I guess his 2025 class is going to be considered one of the top 5 in the country. I mean, he just racked in some guys this weekend. There were, 4 and 5 star players. So everybody's pretty excited about that. But, obviously Cardinal baseball is at hand, and you make an interesting observation going into the All-Star break. You have 2 sorts of teams. Teams that are already planning their 3 days off, and guys that want to play hard, getting ready to reset for the second portion of the year.
It's the first time we've talked to you since Flag Day has come and gone, and this is part of the reason. I know you kind of wait for Flag Day. The Cardinals are a perfect example. Early in the year, really struggled to get it going. They've turned things around. Now they're second place in the division. So now that you've had the chance to see them over the stretch so far, who are the real Cardinals this year?
Well, I think you're seeing a variation of them now. They play hard every game. They had a game on Saturday. Lance Lynn wasn't as good as he needed to be, and he will be the first one to tell you. Cardinals ended up losing like 13-8 or something along that line, but they kept playing hard, man. I mean, they didn't give away at bats. You had some guys that were in some awkward situations pitching-wise that came in, gave you an extra inning when maybe they hadn't done that in a while. So there is a lot of spirit. Yesterday they went out and destroyed the Washington Nationals, and they have them again today. But, man, I like the direction of the team. Now, having said that, you're going to need help. You need another starter. You need another guy in the bullpen. Our bullpen's been pretty good at the back end with Freddie, JoJo Romero, Andrew Kittredge, and Ryan Helsley, the All-Star. Those 3 guys have been lights out for the most part. But you can't keep riding that horse every day. I like for them to go out and get another experienced closer to kind of, be the wedge guy or come in and pick up a save from time to time when, Helsley's down. You need another right-handed bat. Now, I'm of the belief that Wilson Contreras might end up being your right-handed bat as a DH. Pedro Pages, I don't know if you guys really saw him a lot in Memphis. He's just been a dynamic catcher behind the plate. Doesn't hit for a lot. But, man, what he does behind the plate certainly makes up for his lack of offense.
You mentioned Helsley, man. Yeah, he has been absolutely fantastic this year. 31 saves already.
Yeah, Eli, it's been fun, man. And, we always thought of him as being this fireballer. He's throwing sliders and curveballs and changeups, man. It's really offsetting hitters who are sitting on the fastball. He's pitching with a lot of confidence. He knows his role, and he has embraced it, and it's just been fun to watch.
With the offense, the big guys, Goldschmidt and Arenado, they both had very slow starts to the year. Obviously, they're still such an important part of this offense. Where would you say they are right now?
Not where they need to be. Goldschmidt, we have a couple of guys that have a chance to have 200 strikeouts this year. And Goldschmidt and Gorman. Goldschmidt and Gorman. Goldie is, you look at his average and you say, man, he's only hitting 220-something or 230. But then next thing you know, you look around, he's got a 8 or 9 or 10 game on base streak going. Mm-hmm. So he's doing something. But the strikeout has been his Achilles heel this year. His defense has been more than adequate. We keep waiting on him to bust out. With Arenado, he's streaky. He's starting to warm up again a little bit, but he hasn't been able to find the real consistency from a power standpoint that is what they're counting on. I mean, they can put it in play, but we need them to put it over the wall, and that's what we're waiting on.
Every time we talk about the Cardinals, it seems like somebody will ask the question about Jordan Walker and when he might go back up, what the situation. Obviously, Alec Burleson's hitting, doing things right now. What are the feelings that they have there about what Walker is doing here?
Well, they just want to see a little bit more productivity, a little bit more consistency. I mean, he had 4 home runs since he's been there, with 210, 217 at bats. They need a little bit more from him. From what I've seen, just in highlights, his swing hasn't changed. And until he figures out his swing, he's going to be there for a bit. For 2 reasons. One, I'm not sure if there's a spot here for him to be a regular guy without making a contribution. 2, he's got to change some things. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where that comes from. Is that him? Is it coaching? Is it? I don't know. I know they all work with him, and I know he's a hard worker. I watched him in the off season put work in on being a better defender. I think he'll be back. When? That's a good question. I just think he needs to just be a little bit more consistent. Now, with that said, they make us bring him up and say, all right, figure it out here at the big league level. And maybe he's better off in that situation. So I think we just have to stay tuned. Where you're playing right now, I think would be a question. Let's say if Newbar comes back, then you put him in left, Burleson becomes your DH from the left side, and then you have you can put Walker in right field. If you don't put him there, then Carlson's going there. But Carlson hasn't been as effective either. So maybe Carlson is your 4th guy. So you have some options. And then Tommy Edman allegedly is not far away. He's in Springfield rehabbing as we speak. So, where does he fit in all this? He's not better than Ciani right now. Ciani's making every play, in center field. I don't know if you can play him at second base because Gorman can hit you 35 home runs, and then, Donovan's been very consistent. So it's a nice dilemma to have on who goes where. But I can tell you this, we need a better bench, too. We need more guys coming off the bench who can help you late in the game. So maybe that's a role. So there are a lot of options on the table before we get to the trade deadline.
Talking with Mike Claiborne from Cardinals Radio Network, also Claibs Online. You can follow him on Twitter at Claibs Online. And then if they do want to go out and add a starting pitcher, what level are we looking? Are you looking just maybe a middle of the rotation guy, or are they trying to get involved in the Crochets and those from the White Sox and trying to add one of those type guys?
Well, I'm a believer that you need to strengthen the front end of your rotation. Because, and I know some people would say, well, you may overpay. Well, here's my question to that. The person you're acquiring, is he going to be more effective than the people you're willing to give up? And the answer is yes. So why are you worrying about somebody who can't help you now when you're trying to win now? Okay, you're not trying to win in 2026. You're trying to win now. So if that guy turns out to be a good player in 2025 or 26, then hooray for him. Tip your cap to the scouting department on finding a good player. But I'm also in the process of thinking I can win now and next year and the year beyond. So, it's one of those philosophical issues you have within an organization. I am one that feels like if you really mean business, go for it now. And there's some people out there that can help you. And when you put that person in the rotation, and remember, if you get in the postseason, you need three. You need three guys that can get you. And we don't have three. I think Sonny Gray and Kyle Gibson have been terrific. Miles Michaelis has been up and down. Lance Lynn has been up and down. Andre Palante has just been put in that role. So I'm not sure if you're going to see him pitching on Game 3 of a series. So, you need somebody who's been there or at least has that kind of swing and miss stuff that's going to make you effective in postseason. Because we're not playing just to have a winning record. We're trying to play to get in to win this thing, not get in and win around, win.
Yeah.
That's what Cardinals are all about.
And I mean, I would imagine that they feel like the division is certainly there. I mean, Milwaukee's been good, but I don't think anybody looks at Milwaukee and goes, man, how are we going to catch them?
Hey, this ain't the 57 Braves out there, okay, in Milwaukee. They don't have Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews and that bunch, all right? This isn't the 82 Brewers. They're a good team, and I give their manager a lot of credit for keeping them on point. But you know what? If there's one thing we know about the Cardinals and the Brewers, whenever the Brewers are in front of the Cardinals, that means they're catchable. And we've done that on multiple occasions.
I did want to ask you, what was it like the game down at Rickwood Field and the whole Willie Mays celebration, everything else?
Man, it was incredible. I've said it before. In the 40-plus years I've been doing this might be in the top 5 as far as just experiencing the field and all the great players who came back for it, to sit around and talk about Willie Mays. And I saw him play as a kid. And one of the things that I noticed about him, and it was the first person I went for my first game he was playing. I never saw Willie Mays leave his feet for a fly ball. Yeah, I mean, the guy was so graceful. I mean, and he threw to the right base. He knew how to run the bases. And if he not had been playing in Candlestick, he'd have hit 700, maybe 800 home runs because that ballpark was not friendly to hitters. Phenomenal player. And then to sit around and hear other guys talk about it. And, ironically, Barry Bonds, of all people, shows up and, was very cordial to people. A lot of other great former players were there, the commissioner and Joe Torre. I mean, it was a who's who. And I think Reggie Jackson, I'm sure you probably heard his comments. Yep. He kind of put the icing on the cake about what this was all about. And I had a chance to sit with him at lunch that day, and he kind of told a similar story. And he'd not been back to Birmingham since he left the minors. And if it wasn't for Willie Mays, he said, I wouldn't be back here today. But it was an incredible experience, and the fact that we ended up winning the game also helped. And I'm happy and honored to be part of it.
Yeah, you because you guys did the Field of Dreams game too, right?
No, we were scheduled to, and then we had the pandemic. But we've gone to London, we've been to Mexico, we've done the Little League World Series. Have a special game somewhere, call the Cardinals.
But do you like the idea that Major League Baseball is doing these things?
Yes, I do. We need to grow our brand. This all started with the NBA going to Europe about 25, 30 years ago, and playing exhibition games there, and really starting to put a footprint there where European players started to come back and play in our league. And, you're seeing them penetrate the continent of Africa now. We're going to start seeing more players come out of there, or a lot of players who will migrate to Europe that their families originated on the continent. And Major League Baseball has got to think about more than just the little leagues around here. They've got to be more global. Obviously, it's had an impact on the Pacific Rim and Korea and Japan. But, there's other parts of the world they play this game. And they've quietly started to set up a network in Europe, in Spain, in England, in Germany, in France. Some of those countries are starting to gradually embrace baseball. And I'm not saying we're going to put an expansion team or anything like that over there, but I really think when you look at the other sports, you look at the NFL, who was in Europe, you look at the NHL, who's been in Europe, the NBA, they were global before baseball even thought about it. Baseball's idea of global was, well, we got the Caribbean. Yeah, you do, but you don't even play games there. So what my thinking is, they should do a game like this and next year it should be in Puerto Rico to honor Roberto Clemente.
Yeah, that'd be. Yeah, I mean, certainly that would be an area. Yeah, you'd think you could go down and some of those where so many of these players are from.
And you know, Eli, I don't know if you've ever seen a game in that part of the world. It's a party beyond parties. It's very competitive. It's a very festive atmosphere, and I think we could all take a page out of it. And they tried to do a little bit of that at Wickwood. They had a brass band that would march through the concourse between innings and play, and it was just really a really party atmosphere that I think a lot of people got a kick out of.
Yeah, I and obviously, you know, the timing of it all with the Willie Mays passing away right before.
Yeah, and then we lose Cha-Cha the next week. We lose Cepeda the following week, you know, and I saw him play the year he won the MVP in '67. They couldn't get him out, man. If he had 2 strikes on him every time he got in the box, they still couldn't get him out. I never saw a guy put it in play. And if he saw a runner at second, just get ready to mark him down because he's going to score.
All right, before I let you go, what do you think about Zach Edey and the Grizzlies?
You know what? I know some people were like, what are they drafting him for? You know, here's the deal. I like the move. You know, as you're noticing, the league is going back to a little bit more size up front, okay? And these guys not only can put the ball on the floor, but they can also shoot it. I think Edey's going to be a good addition. You'll have Ja back. He'll be healthy. You got some other guys, Jaren Jackson Jr., he'll be ready to go. I think that this could pose a real problem for a very competitive Western Conference as we know it. So I like the pick.
That's good. Well, we want I always got to get your stamp of approval.
Yeah, they're still my team. I know we kind of had some rough sledding the last year and a half, but you know what? I think if they can get everybody on point, I think if everybody has grown up a little bit, I think if everybody can stay healthy, they can be right back in the thick of things. And remember, the West is so deep, man. I mean, you look at Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't think they're going to be better next year? And I go back to my issue about size. You know, Harvenstein is going to really help them up front. You know, so you better be able to be well armed when you look at Oklahoma City and Minnesota and Denver and Dallas. I mean, hey, listen, man, you better bring more than one gun to the party.
Yeah, and then Sacramento adds DeMar DeRozan. Like, it keeps getting better and better. Like, they all come to the West.
And you know what's ironic about it? We're not even talking about the Lakers or Golden State. They're like old news.
Yes.
You know, I'm so pissed off at the Lakers right now. I don't know what to do. You know, that's my team. But until they get rid of Pelinka, this thing is going to just continue to spiral in a direction no one knows where it's going to stop.
You don't think Bronny James was the answer?
Bronny James is not the answer to the Lakers winning their next championship, and that's all I care about. You know what? Hey, you know, they have the family father and son shoot off. Great. Have at it, man. But Bronny James is not going to be the reason why the Lakers win a championship.
That is for sure. There's no doubt. Although LeBron believes they can win one before he retires. I don't agree with him, but hey, that's what he thinks.
Well, it's not the first time I would disagree with him. Yeah, and I think he's a phenomenal player. I won't call him the greatest player, but I think he's in that conversation. I think the greatest player still starts and ends with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know, he held a record for 38 years and took 2 3-point shots. He won every trophy at least twice. You think about him being in a position where he had an unstoppable shot, outstanding passer, and he was great at every level of his life, starting in grade school. You know, so he's still the greatest to me. I mean, he may not have been a media darling or anything like that, but when it came time to put the ball on the floor, I didn't see many guys volunteering trying to guard him.
That is for sure. He is Mike Claiborne. Again, Cardinals Radio Network and Claves Online is the website. You can follow him on Twitter at Claves Online. Cardinals this afternoon. By the way, this is a weird 4-game series ending on Monday?
It's called a wraparound series, and we see it maybe once a year. I don't know. You know, Washington. You can take a poll right now on the people who can't wait to leave. They just don't do it right here, man. It's just some things. There's some things here that just I don't know. I mean, you know, they're going to be a pretty good team in a couple of years. They got some good young players. But man, when it comes to running a ballpark, you just have to shake your head.
I mean, the president,
as my former broadcast partner once said, he said, "This may be as Mickey Mouse can be."
mean the president's race doesn't do it for you?
No, man. I'll give you a good example. So they asked us to keep our windows closed in our broadcast booth because somehow or another the party rooms or the suites were having an air conditioning problem, and therefore with our windows being open, the air was going to go out. We walked down the hall, the radio guys and the TV guys for their team had their windows wide open. They could feed pigeons. I mean, it just, man, it's time to go. It's time to go. We're home tomorrow. We get the Royals for 2 off day, and then here come your Cubs into town. We try and give them a good going over before the All-Star break, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
They are not very good right now. That is for sure. And then
yeah, you know what? And I was a little surprised at that. I thought when you think about how many they have 3 Gold Glovers on their team. Okay, they bring Bellinger back, so I'm thinking, all right, the offense should be pretty good. You have Justin Steele. You bring in the other kid, and then you bring in Hector Neris, and I'm saying, okay, this team might have just enough to make it interesting. And the boy wonder, everybody thought, well, we got Miller Huggins managing the team now, so I mean, we should be in good shape. And it's just gone south, but it just goes back to show, man, if you don't have enough pitching, you have no chance.
That's right. The bullpen has been a disaster.
The bullpen has been a teetotal disaster. Now, how you fix that? And you have to wonder, are they going to be the sellers?
Yeah.
Because it's not like they got a farm system that's stacked.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to approach the trade deadline. It's going to be, they don't have a whole lot of guys with like expiring contracts so I don't know exactly how they're going to approach it. Mike, thank you as always, man. We appreciate it. Good luck getting out of Washington.
Say hello to my good friend Ben Johnson and his staff down in Memphis. They do a good job in getting these kids ready. So if nobody has anything, are they off today?
I am not sure if they're off.
I think they might be off.
They may be.
But anyway, support the Grizz. I mean, the Grizz and certainly the Memphis Redbirds. And I hope to get down there at some point before the season's over.
Sounds good, Mike. Thank you.
All right, man. You guys have a great day. Take care.
Too. Mike Claiborne joining us. Again, Cardinals this afternoon. 3:05 that game time against the Washington Nationals. We're back to wrap things up on this Monday edition of Sports 56 Mornings here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
If you want a great experience, you need to go to Genesis.
Meet Kendall Wammel, who shopped several other jewelry stores but ended up at Genesis Diamonds with a bigger, better quality diamond for less.
Based on what I had seen elsewhere, I didn't know that this size diamond would be possible for me to have on my finger.
Are you ring shopping? Genesis Diamonds has one of the nation's largest selections of GIA certified diamonds at the guaranteed best prices, bar none.
You're going to get the most value for your dollar at Genesis Diamonds. You're going to get the best customer service in town and probably in the entire state.
And that's what Kendall really loved, the personal attention, the relaxed environment, the no-pressure shopping experience.
This jewelry store was like home. It wasn't walking into corporate America. Nothing's a sales pitch here. It's all genuine. They're like a family.
Genesis Diamonds.
There would be no reason that I could ever think of that you would not go to Genesis first. And if you leave Genesis and try to shop around, you will come back to Genesis.
Memphis's direct diamond importer at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
800-908-3084. That's 800-908-3084.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
All right, Zach. Who leads the Grizzlies in scoring tonight?
GG.
How many?
He got 20, easy.
So I wish I knew how much these guys are going to play. I'm assuming they'll play him tonight, and then some of these guys are like Gigi. There's no way he plays tomorrow night. Can't imagine he's playing back to back. Wonder if he'll ever play any. Maybe he plays tonight. He doesn't play again in Utah. Maybe they wait till Friday. I don't know how they're going to approach it.
I can off of my own guess of who's playing tonight. Obviously, your three rookies, Gigi, LaRavia, so that's 5. Scotty is 6.
Jemison.
Jeffries is 7. And then maybe Timmy Allen, so that's 8. And then you might throw in Freddie Gillespie, so that's 9. So I think those 9 guys will play tonight.
Well, you didn't say Jemison, did you?
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I'm tripping. Yeah, so replace Freddie with Jemison. That's your 9 guys.
And then tomorrow night, like no Gigi.
No Gigi. No Zach Edey.
Probably not. So I think Edey leads them in scoring tonight. I think Edey goes for a double-double. I think he's going to have like 20 and 10.
I can see that.
Good. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't dominate these guys. He did it in college. It's all the same people.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So why not dominate them?
Look, I was telling people this when they drafted him, and once everybody like got off their high horse about taking him at 9. I'm like, listen, Edey has the potential of getting 82 straight double doubles this season.
Well, come on,
82 now. Straight. I don't think a rookie has ever done that.
Angel Reese, you're going Angel Reese on it. Who do the Jazz even have on their summer league roster?
Oh, their team is loaded.
Who's their big?
I know Walker Kessler. He's playing.
He is playing. I figured he wasn't playing. I assumed he would not be playing. Ooh, that could be interesting then. If he goes, he's going against Walker Kessler.
Yeah. So they're bigs. They got Armando Bacot. They got Filipowski, Walker Kessler, and then your boy.
They got Taco
Kenny
Fall.
Lofton.
Oh, Kenny Lofton? Is this? Oh, this is old. Okay, I was like, what the heck? Why? Kenny Lofton's playing for them?
Yes, because remember he signed with them at the end of the season.
Oh, he's going to try and go for 50.
I know he is.
Oh, he's going to be. He's going to be. That'll be all. He's going to shoot 25 times.
I just need Zach Edey just to swat everything around the rim when he's there. Just swat everything.
All right, you're going GG. I'm going Edey as a leading scorer, but I think it's going to be around 20 points. I think like 20 and 10 for Edey tonight.
Yeah.
Genesis Diamonds. When it comes to engagement rings, there's women know the top designers out there. Men, you may not know them. But here's the deal. If you just go over to Genesis Diamonds, they can tell you. They can educate you on the names you need to know. And they've got a great selection of all of those top names. They got the great selection of diamonds. Selection, prices, service, you get it all. Top of the line from Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended. Don't settle for anything less than the best when you're buying jewelry. Go to Genesis Diamonds. Get Poplar and Perkins Extended. Up next, Wolo and Friends comes your way. Dave Oloshin back in the house. Thanks to Brad Logan and Mike Claiborne for joining us on the program. Tomorrow, Connor O'Gara will be on the program. We'll also, of course, have our golf segment with Mickey Barker. Matt Infield from New Channel 5 will join us tomorrow to talk a little Grizzlies Summer League and Tigers as well. For Zach, I'm Eli. Have a great Monday. We'll talk to you again tomorrow morning here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.